Rightio. Evening, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that race. It wasn't the worst one in the world, was it? I mean, I don't know. We might just about find something to talk about. I think. There wasn't a lot going on though, really. Right. Okay. This is gonna be a fun one. Right. We're not for some reason the Discord bot isn't putting this link out properly. So, not a big fan of that, but. We're going to properly get into this and I'm just going to make sure everything's all gone out right. Right, I'm going to quickly put the link in the Discord chat as well. So here we go. Brr, right. As yes Trading says, and still I rise. That was interesting, wasn't it? I'm just going to give some time for everyone to get into the stream because otherwise we're going to be repeating ourselves a lot. Because I feel like there's quite a few talking points to go on here. Hello, Morgan. How you doing? Crazy race. Max oh god, we're going to have a lot of this, aren't we? This is going to be a really, really interesting stream. And like I said, I'm just going to give it a minute. Morgan, that was interesting. To say the least. Yeah, I don't know. I think we might just find something to talk about, you know. I'm going to quickly tweet this out as well. Going live for post-race talk. Going live for post-race talk. Yeah, come watch. There we go. That's a quality tweet right there. Alright, so like I said, look, we're just going to wait 1 minute just to let as many people as possible get into this stream because we've just started it. Yeah, we're just going to just give a lot of time. On our headphones. There we go, right. Right, so hello everyone. Hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, we're about 30 people. That's alright to start. I don't want to start with really any less than that, so... This will be alright. I'm trying to listen to the onboards as well. So, right, there's going to be so much discussing in the chat. And rightly so, you know, this is peak F1 when we have so much to talk about after that race. And, wow. So, right, I'm bringing up the browser now because I know we're going to have to use the browser because we do have FIA documents. We do have Max Verstappen been summoned to... The stewards summons car 33, turned 27 minutes to car 44. That was released a matter of 10 minutes ago. So let me set this up quickly. Oh yeah, look, here you go. You guys can see my YouTube analytics. Look at that. That's crazy. Right, here we go. You're gonna no, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna do what I want you to do. There we go. Thank you. That's fantastic. I love it when it does what I want it to do. Wow, already 50 people. Okay, right. Hello, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed that race. This, I think, could be quite a busy stream. I think it might be fair to say. It's not a good day to be a Red Bull Racing fan. No, we're gonna go over everything in that race as best as possible. I don't remember half of it, let's be honest. It was a pretty chaotic one. So, big breaking news. That's what the stream's about. Car 33 turned 27 minutes into car 44. Probably the most dramatic moment of this season so far, even more than Silverstone and Monza. We have car 33, 23:40 local time, which is in half an hour's time. Number driver 33 Max Verstappen, alleged breach of Article 2D, Chapter 4, Appendix L of the FIA International Sporting Code, incident turn 27 at 20 past 10. Right. Okay, this might be the quickest we ever hit 100 viewers on a stream, so that would be pretty amazing if we could do that, you know. So 1 minute, you want us to wait for the data, and then it's called the FIA, you say they're wrong too. I hope there's no penalties, and... for the points. Honestly, look, we're in the most perfect situation this season. You'd almost say it's scripted. After 21 races this year, the two Titans come into the final race even on points. Nil points between them. Absolutely crazy. I know there's still going to be a lot more people joining, so again, we're going to hold off just a minute, but here we go. Look, this is it. This is the big important bit. This is the first thing I want people to see when they come on. So I'll spend some time in the chat, so this is the first thing people see, but I can also talk to you. So, right, first of all, oh God, where do we start with this? I really, genuinely... Any ideas for a poll? I like to give a poll going. I'm listening to Ron Meadows and Michael Massey shouting at each other in my right ear at the moment, so... This is crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I can't believe that race for the most part. That's potentially one of the craziest. I'm not gonna. So if you don't know, I do a lot of commentary, and I've commentated on league races cleaner than that. So I think that says it all. So Max slows down gradually, not brake checked, and then Lewis slows down too. And rams into the back of Max. Now people saying Max is in the wrong. So what happens there? Both of the drivers were... Max was trying to let Lewis go. Lewis knows very intelligently. Credit to him in that case. You can argue what the rest of what went on wasn't quite intelligent, but the part that I'm about to mention was. He realised that is just before the DRS detection point. Max wanted Lewis to overtake before the DRS detection point so he could get him back down into turn 1. Now that's perfectly fine, you can do that. But Lewis said, well, we've got a massive gap behind us. We don't need to. We've got a huge gap behind us. There's no need. It's ridiculous stuff. So yeah, Lewis was trying to hold off. Max was decelerating more and more. Lewis slows down, downshifts a gear, realises last second, oh no, and it ends in contact. So look, the stewards going to take a look at it. If Max touched his brakes, look, when the telemetry, they all have access to telemetry, we don't. If he touched his brakes, I'm sorry, that could be a penalty. And I know Verstappen fans and Red Bull fans really won't want to hear that, but if he touched his brake with him behind, there's a chance it's going to be a penalty, and it would be a severe one. Wow. So it's clearly split opinion. Looking at the chat, let's all calm. Okay, look, like we can't do a whole stream with everyone shouting at each other. So let's let's calm the rhetoric down a bit. No screaming or insulting each other. Just keep it. I need the mods. Where are the mods? Come save me, please. But yeah, we're gonna go over this all properly. In the next couple of minutes, just literally waiting for more. Make sure everyone's in. Haven't been right. So I'm trying to read Discord as well. It's believe it or not, after that race, there's quite a lot of discussion and quite a lot of people messaging me. So we're saying this is just disgraceful from Lewis and Mercedes. What's the car telemetry data say? Mark. No idea. That's what the stewards going to be looking at, and that is what this is going to be all about. Imagine if Max wasn't driver here, so we just watched Lewis just smoke ace. You can. I love this rivalry. I'm a Max fan, but if he hit brakes, then he should get penalised. These guys are a joke. They don't know what racing means. Honestly, that was one of the most interesting points of the season. I think it's fair to say, isn't it? What a robbery! Hold on, but why was Lewis even right behind him? Max was slowing with space on left. What did Lewis have to do to be right behind? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like I say here, Lewis was slowing down to stay right behind Max so that he could, because Max wanted Lewis to get past before the DRS detection point. Right, I'm trying to keep up with so much, guys. So much news going on as well. Verstappen's winning into this long days. Yeah, obviously, still, as someone points out online, actually, Enzo Fittipaldi. I still hope he's okay as well, obviously, from the F2 race, but hopefully we hear more of that. Yes, thank you, Beth. I can see you're there now. So, yeah, I think the mods might be needed for this stream a little bit more. We're going to, obviously, it's the passion we all have for racing, and people might get a little bit angry, I think it's fair to say. He asked to place back, so why penalty? Like I say, the question is going to be is if Max touched the brakes, that's going to be... if Lewis is right behind him and he touches the brakes, I'm sorry, I appreciate you might be on either side of the fan debate, but that's very likely to be a penalty. Whether that's right or not, you know, that's for the streamers to debate as well. And I guess for us as well during this stream. This is gonna be good. Hello, Reaper. Hope everyone enjoyed the race, by the way. Really do hope everyone enjoyed the race. So I think it was hard to not enjoy that one, unless you're probably necessarily a Max fan, it probably, or Red Bull fan. It wasn't the best weekend in the world. He should have left trophy and champagne on podium. Max was angry as well. We could see a new very, very aggressive, angry Max as we move forward now. This is crazy. Paul di Resta keeps saying as well in my ear, why did Lewis slow down and not go by? And that's really annoying me because he was slowing down to get DRS because he knew Max would fly right back past otherwise. So Paul di Resta being his very typical self. I thought it was going to be a dull race, but well, honestly, after a few laps, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a bit boring, actually. I can't see it being that interesting, but wow. Wow. Yeah, that was really something, wasn't it? That was really something, that race. Actually, after an instance, I love this race. It has everything. Also, as a Max fan, I am happy the points are equal. Best season ever from Syria. That's it. I like that. This is the happy, upbeat thing I like. You know, let's not be angry. Let's just appreciate. That was a really exciting race, and I feel like actually both teams probably have something to feel a little bit aggrieved about. The FIA as well. The actual the actual race directing team was horrendous. I'm sorry. They were absolutely below par this race. I honestly, as Toto Wolff was saying, now the drivers weren't informed in the right way about being able to the other driver going to let them pass and everything. It all seemed a bit of a mess for a large portion of it. Moving forward, do you think tyres should be allowed to be changed during red flag? No, I tweeted that in the race, actually. I really don't. And look, I was saying this thing years ago as well. Like, I'm just decided, like, this race. Before someone says I'm biased or something. Like, even after Imola, I was saying, look, this isn't a fair rule. People shouldn't be allowed to, change their tyres. Unless it's changing between wet and dry conditions, you should not be allowed to change your tyres. But, I'm not in charge of the FIA, unfortunately. So, yeah. Imagine if both Max and Lewis DNF in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, it would be Max the champion on count back with wins. So, yeah, crazy stuff, crazy. Please can we all have a moment of silence in memory of Toto's headset. May it fly high, indeed. Wow, there's so much to go over from this race. And of course we're waiting the news on Verstappen. Penalty, I imagine once all the Sky Sports and other post-race shows end, we're gonna have a high portion of the audience share. So hopefully the stewards take their time with this one, so I can get more views. Who said that? But yeah, that's right. Let's see if there's anything new at all so far. Oh god, there's another one. Offence carpet free. Ooh, okay. Right. So Lewis Hamilton as well has been summoned to streets. Is that to discuss? Yeah, 2340. That must be at the same time as to. Yeah. Okay. I was going to say it's at the same time to discuss the incident. I was going to say that was nearly a change in the headline, wasn't it? What's this one? A new track gaining advantage, 5 second time penalty, 1 penalty point, total of 5. Okay, so this is one that we actually saw during the race. So that's nothing new. This is one that we saw time, 18 past 10. Yeah, this is one that we saw during the race. That's okay. There's nothing new there. But yeah, there we go. Look, so car 44 summoned as well as car 33. What's car 11, 10 for instance 16? What was that one? I can't remember now. Yes, Perez and Leclerc, of course. So that's at 23:10. So right, I'm going to write a timetable of these really quickly, just so we have some structure to what's going on. So we've got 23:10, which is 10 minutes ago, I believe. We have coming in is Sergio Perez, and I imagine Charles Leclerc as well. Yep, Charles Leclerc as well. So that's Perez v Leclerc. Perez, and then I'll make this into a graphic where the Perez v Leclerc. Then 23:40, it is Hamilton v Verstappen. Right, I'm going to turn this into a graphic for us as well, so that we actually know what's happening. Jeez. Not a bad race, was it? Not a bad race, one bit. I'm gonna give the chat some time to discuss among themselves to calm down a bit. RaceBeacon, Max will get another penalty. It doesn't seem so. Well, oh no, sorry. Right, hang on. No, that one we just looked at was not a new penalty, but it is potentially that Max will get a new penalty. Yes, that is a potential outcome. Yes. As we see here, car 33, Max Verstappen, alleged breach of Article 2D, Chapter 4, Appendix L of the FIA's International Sporting Code, incident at turn 27. So Hamilton's been called to the same one, but the summons is actually against Max Verstappen. So I mean, I assume so at least. It'd be a bit bizarre for Hamilton to get a penalty as well, wouldn't it? That would make a stream and a half. The most exciting race so far, says Mark. And I'd say normally, that's a pretty bold claim, but I don't think you're far off. They'll do nothing to Max driving theatrics. I bet if Senna would be alive today, he would have stormed into the offices after a bunch of these decisions. Yeah, I thought for a moment that could be quite a heated post-race bit, but in the end, fortunately or unfortunately, whichever one you want. Not quite. Race was an absolute mess. Insane how FIA handled basically effing that race. Yeah, that's something I said just a few minutes ago. I've got to say the race director team was poor, well below par on that race. Yeah, I can't lie there. They were really poor. Decisions were late. Decisions were slow to be made. VSC out way too long. At times, probably the world's longest VSC we've had. Losing a couple of extra laps of the race as well. It was interesting. It was interesting. Why not rolling start like an F2? The reason it wasn't a standing start in Formula 2 on the restart was because there's a load of dust all over the track. Because they were clearing it up. So it wasn't even on either side. So certain drivers had a disadvantage by starting on one area of the grid than others. So that's why it wasn't a standing start there. Not because it was too dangerous or anything to go on. It was just because it was unfair, and obviously you don't want people arriving into turn one dusty tyres either. To be fair, so. Right, this is okay. There's a lot of strong opinion. Right, what should we do a poll on? Come on. If anyone has any poll suggestions, what do we want to go for? What do we want to ask the F1 community today after that race? What do we want to know? What do we want to see answered? I'm trying to keep track of this as best as possible. There's a lot going on. Obviously, it's just past the end of the race, so I'm trying to follow this all. Race direction has been atrocious today. Massey is completely unfit for the role, potentially. I'm not going to lie there. Lewis and Max reported to the stewards at 23:40. Local times in 25 minutes. They're going to be at the stewards. This is all interesting. So there's Lewis on board of him not being told about swap-in time. I don't know if, strictly speaking, I'm allowed to show this, but I want to, and it's really important. So here you go, have this. Let's see about this. Come on. It's not going to load now, is it? It's not going to load now. No. Don't want to do it today. Right, hang on. I'll log on to my other Twitter account. Here we go. The RaceBeacon Twitter account. The official one. Did that actually happen from Jenny Cow? That's crazy stuff, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Alright, let's head back to the chat. What are you all getting on? RaceBeacon, is the Saudi track too dangerous? That's a good one. I like that one. I want to cause a bit more controversy, though. I do really like that question, but I want to cause a bit of argument. It's quite fun. Aerial footage of that says everything. The FIA taking much of their time to grant Max a penalty until Hamilton's out of the race. Let's talk about Valtteri's drag race to third place. Absolutely just clinching at P3 off of Esteban Ocon in the run to the line. Poll for who's guilty for contact. Yeah, we'll go with that one because that's going to be a hot topic. Oh, I've seen my name. Bradley, what if Max had a mechanical failure? Sorry, mate, but Lewis being smart about DRS is a bad excuse for slowing down and going into the back of Max. Yeah, that's a fair point. I just think it's very unlikely and it wouldn't have been Lewis's first fault. I think as well, potentially he might have thought it was a VSC that he'd missed. And he knew there was enough of a gap behind that it wasn't a massive risk if he went for it. So I see where you're coming from. I absolutely do. But there's other reasons. There's other things that he'd consider before it being a mechanical failure, I think. Horner and Max are a joke from Mark, not happy. Okay, Max just confirmed to Sky that F1 that he did brake. Well, he was braking anyway, but the question is that they're going to look at is, did he brake when Lewis was directly behind him? Honestly, that's what the stewards are going to be looking at. Because obviously, I think it's acceptable to brake up until a point in that situation. He was slowing down to let him pass. And to be honest as well, I thought for a second, hang on, has there been a VSC or something? It wasn't actually my first thought as well that he was letting him pass, because we hadn't really heard anything from it. And also, how lucky was Lewis to not be out the race? That was hefty contact. We've seen crashes like that before where it has completely ripped the front right suspension, and he's lucky to finish that race. And honestly, with the damage on the front wing, to get the fast lap as well was crazy. I think they both went into a league of their own today, both of them. Absolutely crazy. Right, I'll set up a poll. Who was at fault for turn 27? Turn 27. So is it going to be Max? Is it going to be Lewis? Or is it going to be racing incident? You know, we always love a good racing incident here. We love a good racing incident. Right, there you go. How about that? This could be an interesting one. Max should have gone more to one side. I do agree with that. He should have dedicated to one side a lot more. To avoid the risk of that happening. But equally, he wanted to put Lewis offline, get DRS, and try to retake him right away. So, the proposition of Massey to Red Bull Verstappen start second was ridiculous. That was absolutely crazy. And I think I actually tweeted that Massey was incompetent at that point. I think I actually just flat out tweeted that Massey was incompetent, because that was an absolute joke. The fact that he didn't even know what the grid was going to be, saying, "Oh yeah, would you like second place?" Well, from Red Bull, I'm like, "Yeah, go for that. Yeah, brilliant. We'll start ahead of Lewis again." It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't think you can say it's 100% someone's fault. No, that's I think maybe I should have racing incident and then no one really. I don't think he says no. If it's close to equal, it's racing incident though. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. If you think it's 50-50, use it as racing incident as well. Or both. Use racing incident as both as well. And why did Max decide to slow down in the middle of the track? Well, that's I think probably Lewis's best defence. Is why was he slowing down in the middle? He wasn't clearly getting out the way to let someone pass. He didn't mark it as well as he could have. I imagine that's the situation. It's all good, isn't it? All good stuff. I'm still trying to listen to the interviews as well on the side, so I'll bring you anything interesting that happens from any of those. But yeah, so here's a big bit. Let's see if there's anything new. Leave a track game advantage. So that was the most recent one at 21:15. So that was that was about 14 minutes ago. That's the 5-second time penalty that Max received in the race for leaving track and gaining advantage. And I'd say on the face of it, pretty fair as well. So yeah. Let's see if there's any of these main accounts. I need to follow more F1 news accounts. I sort of literally just set up this Twitter account earlier today to make it a bit easier to show the timeline rather than just having to find specific tweets. Oh, I just accidentally downloaded that one. Didn't want that one. What are we looking at? Tilted is back in Fortnite. Haven't been the biggest Lewis supporter, but holy smokes, he drove dirty today. Is that Max drove dirty today or Lewis? Max could have moved to either side, not sit in the middle of the track. Max admitted to braking. Yeah, the thing is though, did he admit to braking in front of, like directly in front of Lewis when Lewis was right up his rear, or not? Because that's what's going to dictate whether or not it may be a penalty. But isn't gaining advantage whilst letting someone by not allowed? I thought letting Lewis pass before DRS just so you can overtake 3 seconds later wasn't allowed. No, we've seen that before. We've seen that in the past. It's if you do it on the same straight or something like that. A bit like what Max actually did later on when he dived Lewis under braking into the final corner. That's something that wouldn't have been allowed. Yeah, that's what the issue would have been there. If he left it straight later, he'd have been okay. He'd have got away with it. But fortunately for himself, not. This is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely crazy race. Everything that went on. We had 2 red flags as well. Very lucky to see as well Mazepin and George Russell both getting unscathed from that one. That could have been a bit nasty, but in the end we sort of got away with that. Guys, I go away from the chat for a second and loads more appear. So yeah, like I say, sorry guys. The only way I'm absolutely certain to see your message is if you super chat it, or if you sort of just repeat it every now and again, because chat's going quite a bit at times. Obviously, rightly so, we've got a big amount of debate to go on after here. I don't see any rules concerning both teams while racing after Italian Grand Prix. Both are fighting for championship from race 1 and never had anything to lose. I want them to race to their fullest. Yeah, I missed a point here because the colour of the other driver... Oh no, let's not go there. Right. What happened to the F2 drivers? So Théo Pourchaire stalled off the start and unfortunately was collected by Enzo Fittipaldi. And they were both taken to the hospital. So hopefully they're both okay. That's the... fingers crossed they're all fine. But this is crazy scenes here. After the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And like I say, we're waiting on this. I want to get some footage. You know what? I'm just going to get some footage. I'm just going to flat out do it. Give me a sec. I'm going to get some footage. Yeah, 2 drivers in hospital in F2, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately that is the case. Yeah, spamming and name calling will get you a timeout, no second chance. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Do remember to keep it civil in the chat. Absolutely keep it civil in the chat, please. A bit of an obstacle compared to the crypto factor. Right, okay, I'm gonna get some footage because I want to go over this. So let me get all these. Let me get these up quickly. I'll get some links. Come on, give me some videos, guys. Come on. I think Oscar Piastri summed up quite well. This is all getting a bit silly, he tweeted. So apparently, Max and his engineer are already talking about his advantage in race wins. Why would they even mention that? It's irrelevant, isn't it? Well, unless, of course, they collide in the last race and neither of them score points. Can we just appreciate quickly... We've done 21 races this year. We're coming to the final race and they're equal on points. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. Pablo Elizalde put up, it's 23 past midnight in Abu Dhabi, which means it's race week. Oh god. Right, I want to find some. Actually, if I look on the F1 account itself, I can I reckon they'll have some on boards up, surely by now. You'd think at least. So we've got the moment Hamilton cross the line, people applauding him. Hey, come on, guys, give me a video. I want a video. Okay, right, we might have to hold off on that for a bit. We might have to hold off on the video. But we've got Lewis has championship wrapped up, and that's the thing now. Actually, you know what? Another poll. Can you do 2 polls? You can't do 2 polls. Right, we've had 200 votes in this one. I would like to do a who's going to win the championship. To be honest, I'd rather do a who's going to win the championship. I really do genuinely want to know who people think are going to win. Reaper says Lewis could and should have gone around. He only collided because Ron Meadows didn't tell him he could go past, which is too busy shouting at someone. RaceBeacon is a great space for Max or Lewis's fans to vent. Yeah. I was psychic. You predicted they would have some points before. Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah, I know. I said it. I said Hamver bot and Max get the fastest lap. I did it, guys. I'm a god. Come on. I said I was a prophet. It shows, if you watch this channel, you're getting good stuff. You're getting good stuff. Only the cool people watch this channel. But yeah, this is the main story. So we're basically waiting in just a little bit, actually, in just 5 minutes' time. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton and team representatives are going to be heading to the steward's office. I'm on the wrong Twitter account. There we go. Let's head back here. So Max Verstappen says Formula 1 is more about penalties than about racing. Well, only if the racing warrants a penalty, I'd argue. But so Max Red Bull Race said they were told to give the place up. They told Max to strategically do so, which means, of course, letting him by just before the DRS activation or DRS detection point, which we saw. Merck said they hadn't yet told Lewis Max was going to give the place up. For transparency, would be good if the FIA and F1 release all the radio transmission with time codes. Yes, please. I would love to go through that, but I don't think they will. I would love it if they did, though. It would make it a lot easier to do all of this. Right, OMG, there's no way you guys are defending Max with all the on-track aggression he performed today. All I know is that Max is winning the championship. Well, if everyone gets disqualified ahead of him, then he might just about steal it. But can we just all agree it was not Max, it was not Ham, it was Massey that gets the penalty? Yeah, I've said before in the stream, the race direction today, the race directing team was pretty dreadful. I think that's fair to say. Let's keep it civil, ladies and gents. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Reaper. Yeah, like I say, guys, just keep it calm in the chat. You know, we don't want to say anything too rude. Don't say anything we can't take back. Can we get a red card for Massey for the next race? Yeah, hopefully he can lead with Jean Todt if he wants to. Hello, Festmans. Festsman. The FSF man, actually, it might be. SFS man. That might actually be it, I appreciate. Max drove horribly today. Who do you want to be champion? For me, I'm not too fussed at all, really. I'm not. I sort of like both of them enough to not really care. I'd say Lewis deserved the win today because his moves were slightly cleaner, and the pace seemed to be in the car a bit more with a better strategy, especially at the end. But yeah, coming into the last race, I just want it to be brilliant. I want it to be as dramatic as the race was today because, wow. Absolutely wow. I'm pretty sure their car was faster, so why didn't he just drive a good race? I don't know. Max did, and the race on those medium tyres, correct? Yes, he did. He did the end of that race on the medium tyres. Max didn't move over. He didn't choose a side to let Lewis pass. Max is a dirty driver. So David coming out with the big guns there. Was first red flag really necessary? Mick hit it, but it didn't look like it was took an impact. Well, I think what the issue was that once they cleared Mick's car, I think the front layer of Tech Pro was actually punctured. So on that balance, I was annoyed about it at the time that it took so long to call the red flag. And I don't agree with the rule of being able to change your tyres under red flag. I said the same thing after Imola. By the way, I'm not being biased either way. I think it's a stupid rule. Unless you're changing between wet and dry tyres, obviously. But it's weird. It's a weird one. Really weird one. But yeah, I can see. I sort of forgive them for that. Michael Massey and the race directing team. Because the first layer of Tech Pro did look punctured, so I'd say that's about right. Right, let's start a new poll. Who will win the Drivers' Championship? There we go. Who will win it? So Max is still ahead on countback, so he goes first. And then Lewis Hamilton. There we go. Have that. Have at it. I fear Max is going to play it like Prost Senna and take Lewis at himself out in the last race to win the title by default because he has more wins. Assume you mean. Yeah, I can only see if it's between those two contacts. I can only see that being a disqualification or points penalty. If it's one of the other one's faults. Wow, make Massey an option. I can't decide. Yeah, Aaron, it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard. It's going to come down, hopefully, to the last couple of laps like it has today. Really, hopefully. Yes, yeah, who will win and who deserves to win is different. It absolutely is different. It is very, very different indeed. But who do you think will win the championship? There we go. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. So right at the moment, Max and Lewis are just meeting with the stewards now. So we'll have to wait and see. Right, in the idea, what can you say? 50-50. They share the championship. Perez will go bowling. Max is definitely going for a kamikaze in turn 1 in Abu Dhabi. Either way, it's been a great season. No real fans should be crying after. No, obviously, you know, you're going to support your driver, and whichever one wins the last race, it's going to really hurt for the other side. But I do think in the next coming days afterwards, people will appreciate that we've had a great season, and no one expected it to be this good. Honestly, coming into the season, most people expected another dominant Mercedes year, so it's brilliant. Do you expect a decision tonight? Normally by this point, or in about 20 minutes' time, I reckon we'll be told. But I think we should. I think it's in F1's interest to do it tonight, and I think normally what they do in this situation is that they've said already that it would be investigated in the morning. But it's not for me. So Dutch TV asked us about his crazy message if Max overdid it. Laughs, when doesn't he? Max, on the other hand, says he doesn't want to give the steward satisfaction by commenting on the penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Yeah. Crazy times indeed. But yeah, I'm hoping that the FIA will have this out tonight. There's definitely a chance. It's my birthday next race day. I wish for double TNF on last lap, last quarter. Reaper, that would be a that would be as best a present as you could get. To be fair, very dramatic. I think Lewis and Max, they both have watch money heist. Oh right, okay. Like Professor said, we will both win or we will both lose. Honestly, the fact that both of them finished the race today is absolutely ridiculous. Lewis could have been out twice, obviously colliding with Ocon at turn 1. And then later the collision with Max as well. It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. You know, cynics would say it's scripted, but I can't believe that. Verstappen Hamilton hearing has been postponed to midnight, so 20 minutes time. Can they not do that, please? So yeah, everyone follow Albert Fabrega as well. He's pretty good with these updates. Oh, that's annoying though. Verstappen Hamilton hearing has been postponed to midnight. We're gonna have to wait, aren't we? It's going to be one of those. If I'm streaming until midnight myself, I'm not going to enjoy it. Let's put it that way. I did 3 hours pre-race. I've lost the ability to talk. That's how long we've been going. Well, the last 40 minutes has flown by. So it's obviously that FIA makes the most money when Hamilton wins, obviously by the penalties that are handed down and the camera work at the end of the race. They only finished the race because Lewis knew when to back out. While Max on the other hand is just sending it. Yeah, Max was absolutely in a situation in this race of he's going to give it his all, leave nothing at all on the table. And I think in the end it was one too many. He picked up a penalty for it, and I'd say that he did leave the track and gain an advantage. So, I mean, I don't think many people can really argue with that one, to be honest. What's penalty could Verstappen get? Well, it would likely be a 10-second stop-go penalty. But I don't know whether they'll go more severe or not. And I can't really begin to predict because the FIA have made some pretty interesting decisions this year. I think that's fair to say. They've made some interesting calls. Maxi's a good penalty for next race. There's an alternative as well. It's more likely to be a time penalty though. There's going to be no penalties. Well, that's from Tuesday's chart. That's well, you never know, do you? Max has said he broke, but obviously it depends when he broke. That's the big question. Hope Mercedes and Hamilton give the carbon department who made that front wing a bonus today. That wouldn't have happened without them. Yeah, absolutely as well. I thought for a second there was a chance that Lewis was going to end up running over his wing at some point if it all went a little bit wrong. What are we saying? I feel like this race had a lot to talk about, but if we do, we'll never be able to cover all of it. No, I'm having that issue. There was so much going on in that race. It's really hard to get onto one. In a way, there was too much. What was the gap between Bottas at the end from Max? I think it was pretty big. It wasn't a small gap. Let me have a quick check for you. It was pretty big. I think more than 10 seconds, which is why obviously it's important if it's a more severe penalty or not. So Race results, if we head here. So Max was 15.8 seconds ahead of Bottas, I think it was in the end. So that's interesting indeed. Let's head back to the chat. What were we all talking about? Lewis must get a penalty for causing an accident on track. He ran into Max after confusion caused by FIA. Yeah, he didn't know what Max was doing though. He wasn't told at the time. I think that would be a mitigating circumstances again. I think that would go down to. Yep, Hamilton will make it number 8 next Sunday and then announce his retirement. That would be interesting. That would throw Mercedes into complete disarray and chuck up the driver market. I don't think he will. I think he'll keep going. I think he wants to see in the new regulations. So, Harsh is saying Lewis seriously needs to be penalised. What was it? Max Verstappen seems to be stuck in sim mode. Do you think he'll mature soon? He left a lot on the table today and he put himself at a lot of risk. He could have easily DNF'd from a couple of those events today. And I sort of thought before the race, I'll be honest, I did predict the top 3 and I predicted they'd be even on points coming into the last race. But I also did say that they're not going to fight each other too hard, and I was really genuinely surprised. We're actually shocked that they did fight as hard as they did. That perplexed me a little bit. Obviously, Max knew if he won that race, he's as good as sealed the championship, and Lewis obviously has to win that race to have a chance of winning the championship. It's all fun, isn't it? All fun. I'm going to quickly head back to the FIA documents, see if we have anything new. Because, of course, we do have as well... so, yeah, there's nothing new here. But, like I said, we did have a bit of a timetable. 23:10 was Perez v Leclerc. That was half an hour ago nearly now. Or just over half an hour ago. And then 23:40 was Hamilton v Verstappen, but that's been pushed back to midnight. So, we'll be waiting... In 10 minutes, Max and Lewis are going to be heading to the steward's office to discuss what happened. Did Bottas to Verstappen when Hamilton goes for pit stop? Okay, so you're talking about him slowing down. So yeah, Bottas left a big gap, and I'll be surprised Bottas didn't get a penalty for that. I was surprised it was investigated. He definitely slowed down, and I think I tweeted as well, slam dunk penalty for Bottas. So FIA with an absolute howler, I think obviously has summed that up perfectly. It was... The race direction team was really poor today. Really poor. Max never stood a chance against the Silver Arrows. He did get a free tyre change and got his new tyres and position. Yeah, he did. And at the end of the day, I feel like if the championship was decided on that, like I thought it would be for a while, it's such a sickening way for the championship to be decided. Credit to Red Bull. They called it perfectly. They guessed it was going to be a red flag, and they got it. So yeah, absolutely fair play to them. But it would have been such a downer way to end the season, to end the championship battle. So, do you think Red Bull really has stronger pace than Mercedes? LH keeps saying that, but I felt Max had better traction and straight line speed. Resulting in Max gaining 1 second turn 3 to 13 and losing it on the rest. Yeah, you know what? I think as well, we really saw today whether it's Red Bull running those higher wings and you know, just being a bit more focused on the corners, or we really did see again though the pace in that Mercedes engine. Hamilton was closing a 1/10.5 between each mini sector split. So, you know, that Brazil engine is still going strong and bodes well for the last race as well if it comes to overtaking. Where hopefully dirty air's going to be less of a problem at Abu Dhabi because they have changed the track significantly. So hopefully it's less of an issue and we can get some bit more exciting racing, I'd say. Not only 10 car gap, also Bottas did hold Max off at the first safety car. Yep. Don't you think Mercedes is better? I can't read that. For the Red Bull Odyssey, and Red Bull is keeping pace with tricks and things. No, Red Bull is running on the lower side of downforce. Yeah, they're pretty strong in Sector 1 though all weekend. They were good through the corners. So yeah, maybe lower end for them, but obviously they still naturally have a higher downforce car. So no matter what they do with their car, they're always going to be running higher downforce than the likes of Mercedes. But it depends what they were going with on their setup, as you say. Please send a safety car to collect headphone debris. What would be the reason for Hamilton to slow down there? I don't get why he wouldn't just overtake his championship rival. Well, there you go. This is the interesting bit. So Max was... Let me bring this up. I'll explain this tweet to you. Where was it? I think it was... Here we go. So Max and Red Bull Racing say they were told to give up the place. They told Max to strategically do so. Now, what do we mean by that? You know, how can you strategically let someone pass? You may be thinking. But what happens is you have the DRS detection point right after where Max was slowing down to let Lewis pass. So Max was planting his car right in the middle of the track to ensure that Lewis had to go offline, basically. Get on the dusty side of the track to get past. And then Max would get a better exit, be able to brake a little bit harder down into turn 1 with cleaner tyres, with DRS, and retake the position. So that's why Lewis slowed down. He wanted that DRS. He also wasn't entirely sure what was happening. Yeah, he wasn't entirely sure what was actually going to happen. Max was in the middle of the line off fast corner, confused Lewis. Also, if FIA didn't tell both Max and Lewis at the same time. Yeah, that's the thing. There was a delay. So Max and Red Bull were told to let Lewis pass before Lewis was ever made aware it was going to happen. So that wasn't middle. Please stop saying he was in... Well, he moved over to the middle. You're not going to use the far left of the track. That stuff hasn't been run on all weekend. I'll try to get the photo of that.
It's correct.
I just played an advert in my ear. I'd say it probably was on balance the middle of the track, or the middle of track that's realistically usable without getting a massive amount of dust. What's this? Here we go. Let's have a look at this. So
do that strategically.
So do that strategically, we see. So he's been told to strategically let Lewis past. So he slows down. He drifts over. Right. So he slows down a little bit here, actually. He starts to slowing down more and more. Lewis is probably going, hang on, what's going on here? So now Max starts to drift over to the left-hand side, makes a movement back to the right, and then back to the left again. And Lewis, in this situation, he's closing quickly. He sees that left, he sees the right, he sees the left, and then the right again. He decides last second, just here, he decides to go to the left-hand side, just right here, and clips his wing on the back of that Red Bull. As Toto looking quite scary. But there we go. So clearly Lewis realising right at the end of what was going on, trying to get right out of the way. Oh, poor headphones. Look at that. This is in slow motion. Look at the poor... How'd you do that to headphones? Jesus. Okay, don't get a fight with Toto Wolff. Absolutely don't. But yeah, so here's the key things. He slows down, left, drifts over to the middle of the track here, goes right, goes left, go right, and then Lewis, right last second, decides to go left. He realises he's closing very quickly here. And I think Max... I can't see... Max must brake here. They're going at a consistent rate to each other, and then all of a sudden, bang, contact. So there you go. Let's head back to the chat. What we were saying. Right, so Toto want a one race ban for Horner. VSC to clear the table of headphone debris. Toto's furious. RaceBeacon Max downshifted. Yeah, he just slowed down a little bit. Yeah, it's either downshift or touch the brake. So we did see mention of Max saying he broke. So that's what Stu's are looking at. That's what we're looking for in the telemetry, which obviously we don't have access to, unfortunately. Max goes to right, by the way, at the last second to give even more space on left side. Yes, he does. He decides eventually. He does eventually decide. But look, look, put yourself in Lewis Hamilton's shoe here. You don't know which way to go. You wouldn't know which way to go. Sure, he could dedicate to a side, but he did. So at this point, Max starts slowing. He's thinking, "Oh, this is a bit weird." He hasn't. Bear in mind, Lewis does not know Max is letting him pass, so he thinks maybe VSC or something. I don't know. Also trying to slow down right for the DRS detection point as well. So we've got the move to the left, to the right, to the left, and then to the right again. Last second, Max tries to get out of the way. He does realise what's about to happen. He dedicates to the right. But it's too late from both of them in the end. And contact is, at this point, unavoidable. And, yeah, there you go. And then Max immediately floors it and goes, which I thought was quite funny. He's like, yep, I'm out of here. Okay, right. So already on Sky Sports F1, they're talking about deliberately crashing out in the final race. So, right, we can see Lewis is also slowing with him instead of keeping pace. Yes, he is. But right at the end, he was able to keep pace. Like here, he was able to keep pace. Wasn't really closing in at this bit. Between this period, he wasn't really closing in. And then obviously Max must downshift, touch the brakes, and that's what Stru's looking at. That's what Stru's looking at, is whether Max, even the lightest touch on the brakes at this point, is going to be a penalty for Max. And I can't really see that going any other way. I mean, obviously, he's going to be a bit confused of where Lewis is. But look, I can see a penalty for that if Max touched the brakes. Only if Max touched the brakes. I'm not saying he did. I don't know. I don't have the telemetry. I'm not the FIA. Or the stewards. Hello, Martin. You're back again. I haven't seen you for a few weeks. How have you been getting on? What if he lifted off throttle? Again, that will be a similar thing as well. It's slowing down through user input. So, it's not giving the place back if you're making the re-overtake. Yeah. There's a thing as well. So, actually, yeah. I know you're going to be sick of this footage already, but let's sort of talk through what Max is thinking. So we see... So let's give the position back to Hamilton strategically, which means the DRS detection point right at the end of this long, sweeping left-hander. Max wants that position back. He's not going to let Lewis go and keep it. We saw that when he did eventually let Lewis pass at this exact corner and then dive right back up the inside. He really was going to want to keep this position. Of course he did. Of course he wanted to. Nothing wrong with that at all. But there we go. There's the instant. The dramatic... I still can't believe Toto did manage to do that to some headphones. Look how far they stretch. Toto, man. That's also probably my new favourite reaction picture. I think we'll be seeing that one for years to come on Twitter. Alright, let's head back here. Let's see if the FIA have already saved documents with the Leclerc Perez situation. There's not anything new. So if Verstappen engine had blown up, Hamilton would have stopped with him. Oh, no, exactly. Well, yeah, but again, it's clear. If he has a mechanical failure, you're going to see it. There's going to be smoke. Lewis would also realise eventually that's the situation. And the headphones were fine in the end. Amazing. They're well built down at Mercedes. They're well built headphones. Hamilton strategically does not want to pass. A collision happens when Max insists on let him by. I don't agree. Why doesn't Hamilton just pass him on left but tries to tailgate him? Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Look, he doesn't want to get past because he doesn't want to give away the DRS because Max is just going to re-overtake. That's what I'm saying here. Look, we see Red Bull knew what they wanted to do here. Look, obviously to do that strategically. And they know what that means. Give it back in a situation where you can get DRS again. And that's what we see as we then approach a part of the track where you can get DRS again. So, no, Lewis slowed down because he knows exactly what Max is doing in that situation, but didn't know he was necessarily trying to let him pass in the sense that stewards had ordered it. So, it's really confusing. It's a confusing, really difficult situation, and it'll be interesting to see what the stewards say. There's going to be a lot of debate because a lot of this comes down to what was in the drivers' minds, which obviously there's no tangible way to measure. The question that needs answering is... There we go, thank you. Sorry for saying, but on this thing, you sound a lot biased, man. I'm not being biased at all. I have a view on it, but I'm not being biased in the sense that I want a driver to get penalised or not for gain. I genuinely don't care who wins this championship battle. And actually, I'm not even giving necessarily opinion. I'm saying if Max broke in that situation, for some reason the video isn't loading. If Max broke in this situation, then by the letter of the law, a car right behind you, you brake, you're causing a collision. So there's a penalty. That's what the rules are, not what I think they are, not what I say they are. Those are what the rules are. So yeah, that's what we're waiting on the stewards to see. I'm not trying to be biased in this at all. How is that Red Bull was given a option? Yeah, so Red Bull were given an option. I agree. This is something I think the FIA got right, actually, the race directors. Is one of the only things I'll give them credit for in this race. Was they gave the option because normally what would happen without the red flag is Max would have had the chance to, after a couple of laps, give the place back and not receive a time penalty. So basically the option on the table was a likely 5-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage, or he could give up the position like he would. So basically, the red flag took away the option unfairly from Red Bull to just let Lewis back past, like normal. So the FIA gave a choice, and I've got to say, I agree with that. I agree with that point. There you go. I think I've evened up the bias now. I've said something pro Hamilton. I've said something pro Max. I think that does that even it up. I hope it does. I hope it does. From Sofa Lock saying 100% Verstappen Hamilton crash next week. Honestly, I think it's a massive surprise they both finish this week. Really, really surprising. Note Homer right then drifted to the middle, and they still gave him a 5-second time penalty after swapping the positions for the restart. I think that was for a different one though, wasn't it? That was for a different different go at turn 1, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. I think it evens up. Thank you, Bob Fondler. Fair enough, yeah. If Max gets a penalty, what would it be? Likely 10-second stop-go penalty. Whether they decide to do that as a 30-second time penalty or just a 10-second time penalty, who knows? Because both have existed in the past. 30-second time penalty, like a drive-through being a 20 seconds, so basically drive-through plus the... Yeah, it's for the second time, yeah. Thank you, Mark. It was for the second time. Yes, yeah. So basically it would be, 20 seconds for the drive-through part and 10 seconds for the stopping part. So it's either going to be a 10-second time penalty, I'd imagine, if he's deemed at fault. Of course, big if he's deemed at fault. Yeah. I think that about sums up as best as possible. 5 seconds was for different overtake. It's for a different move on the inside in turn 1. As we look more, wait, who's getting penalty? So, by the looks of it, it would be Max Verstappen receiving a penalty if he does, for the collision as we come into turn 27 with only a few laps to go. I've also got food, so come on, guys, hit me with questions in the chat while I eat. I'll move my mic. So, oh Christ, there we go. Hang on. Let me reorganise my desk. I haven't eaten since. I think I had a cookie during the race, and I think that's all I've eaten today, because, guys, I was live for 3 hours nearly, well, 2.5 hours plus, pre-race, and then I was focusing on the race itself when we've come straight back live, so. I think Soham sums that up race pretty well. What the fuck was that race? I think he puts it pretty well. Enjoy your meal. Thank you, Lindley. I'm gonna keep going. But hang on, let me just quickly do the salty, hang on. Let me get the... There you go. It's chips and burgers, guys. Look, I'm eating really healthy tonight. Why is only Max after the stewards? Well, let me show you the other one. Lewis Hamilton as well. They've both been called to the stewards 4 minutes ago. I'd like to see if we can find some pictures of them going to the stewards, actually. Thank you, Albert. And I ask and I shall receive. There's Lewis going to the stewards. So, with Ron Meadows. Obviously, they'll be discussing what they're going to talk about in the stewards, what they're going to say. Okay, yes. So, they push it back as both win the press conference for the top 3. Obviously, that's fair enough. Verstappen and... Verstappen on his way to the stewards with Jonathan Wheatley as well, so then they are approaching the stewards as well. And they are in there right now as far as we're aware. What are we seeing? Dr. Marco says they don't accept the result, and the engineers checking the data on the collision with Hamilton because Max brake as other laps and there was no brake testing. They don't understand why Hamilton was not penalised when pushed Max out of turn 27. A lot of tension, as you can imagine. And Sky Sports F1 as well, now showing Ron Meadows and Lewis Hamilton, I believe, walking to the stewards, so... This is going to get really tense in the next few minutes. Whatever the outcome is here, and sorry, I had to laugh at this bit saying they don't accept the result because not because I disagree with it or anything, but because I saw someone tweet saying no matter what the result is at the end of the season, it's going to be like the 2020 US election when no one accepts it. So I thought that was funny because someone said it earlier on. I'm not laughing at the actual statement itself. They're perfectly entitled to not accept it if they have data proving so. What else have we got? Sorry for people just joining as well. I know loads more people have joined since I last said it. But I haven't eaten basically all day because I've done about 5 hours of live streaming now. Since about midday. So apologies. I'm going to be reading the chat and keep doing normal coverage, but I'm going to also be having a bite to eat on the side. So sorry about that. Obviously sound very desperate for Verstappen to get the penalty. I don't I'm not. I've been saying for weeks on stream, I want them to come into the last race even on points. I've been saying that for weeks on stream, so anyone who's been here a while can vouch for that. And I'm perfectly happy with the situation. I want them even on points. But I'm excited by the idea of a penalty because it's exciting, isn't it? You know, it's excitement. But yeah, look, going into the last race, I want them even on points. Okay, so I really do want to clarify that. If I'm taking one side, it's because that's what I believe, not because I've taken an objective look at it and I believe that's a situation. It's not a situation I want because, like I say, look, I want them even on points. I don't want a penalty. But if I think if I think something can get a penalty, I'm not going to lie to everyone and say I don't think this is going to be a penalty. Because if it can, I'm not going to lie. I've actually he does say even on points every time. Thank you, Desislava. Do you think Max drove dangerously in this race under the guise of hard racing? I wouldn't say that was the cleanest bit of racing I've seen in my life. I think in such a closely fought championship battle, it's wise to race slightly more cautiously than that. Do I think inherently in any other race it was over the top? Not necessarily. I would say aggressive. Yeah. I think some people go that far. I think it's also somewhat fair to say that as well. But obviously it's a split opinion. Look, people who are massive Max fans, obviously, you know, they're going to fight their side, and that's perfectly respectable. If there's been instances this year when Lando's been involved in an incident, I'm like, well, hang on a second, I don't like that, and you know, I've taken a biased viewpoint on it as well. That's, you know, that's natural. That's racing. That's the passion for this sport that people have. That shows how much people really genuinely love and care about the sport. So. Didn't Hamilton get a black and white flag? Yes, he absolutely did. That was for pushing Max wide on the exit turn 27 when he was finally let past. Lewis slowing in Abu Dhabi in 2016 was safe. Yeah, it was absolutely safe. He didn't do anything dangerous. Oh, yes, no, you're right. Lewis did not get a black and white flag. No, apologies for that. I don't think I read it properly. Lewis they were told, as we saw in the FIA audio message, that it was right borderline on a black and white flag, meaning basically don't do that again. If you end up racing, don't do that again. You'll probably get a penalty for it. Or at least a black and white flag. Hello, Morgan, just rejoined to see you have 500 viewers. Yes. Love every one of them. Brilliant, guys. Max can be over the line a little at times, but Hamilton used to be the same. Yeah, he absolutely did. Absolutely did as well, earlier on in his career, no doubt. Borderline black and white, yeah, it was. It was right on the limit of whether a black and white flag was given or not. Yes. So I don't think I read that right. I think I glossed over it the first time I read it. I felt like the FIA is very inconsistent. Here they were really aggressive in ruling, while in Brazil they didn't want to touch anything. Exactly. That is it. That's my main issue. They're so inconsistent. I see an incident, I don't know if it's a penalty or not, because it changes every race, seemingly. It's weird. It's really weird. Let's see if we've got anything else. Any more news? Because they're in the stewards right now. So if you've just joined, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are in the stewards right now, as far as we're aware. Yeah, nothing too new. Nothing too new on that one. So let me quickly loosen my mouse so you can't hear me scrolling. I got a new mouse. Yeah, guys, I got a new mouse as well. Look, I'm a monetized YouTuber now. I got a new mouse without any of the money I actually got from the streams. Right, what's going on? Lewis shouldn't be receiving a penalty. There he is. Max was just too aggressive. The way he bottled pole yesterday tells you all you need to know about his driving at this track. He seemed a very desperate figure this weekend. Gave it absolutely everything he could to try to seal the championship this weekend. Because at the end of the day, if he won that race, he's champion, pretty much, as good as champion. There was a good 20-lap period where the championship swung 3 times. So again, like I say, sorry, I am also eating while streaming. This Morgan, are you sure you're ill? Do you just want to come on anyway? I think, Morgan, in my professional opinion, you should come on so you can talk while I eat. Right, Max's moves were dangerous. I think that's what Stu's looking at to an extent, and why he did pick up a penalty. Yeah, okay, thank you, Morgan. Right, so if Max gets a, you'll hear me die. Yes, that's fantastic. That's all right. That's all right. You can die on stream. No worries with that. Right, AMSR. F1 stream. No, we're not doing an ASMR of me eating. So that's why I want. I don't want dead space either. You know, I want to constantly be talking to everyone. So, obviously makes good content. Oh god, that's what this channel is going to become. This is going to become ASMR me eating my dinner because I haven't eaten anything today. So I'll give Morgan some time to set up. I do want to do a stream in the off season as well. With the Discord server. Everyone in the Discord server and talk to them. Hang on, guys. Hang on. 1 sec. I need to head back to the off screen. Here we go, guys. Let's get to 1,300 subscribers. Started today on what 1150-ish. 1143. Come on, guys. Who wants to be the 1,300th subscriber? That's a really important number, you know. Go on, 2 more. You can do it. Come on, guys. I'm not gonna play the Wii music because I can't be bothered to set it up. So I like watching all of the milestones. Like, yay! Thank you, guys. Right, so I've got to change the stream now to 1.4. I have to change this number way too often. I might just do road to 2K at some point, but I like it. I like watching all the milestones as they come. So it's nice. But yeah, as we look more, no one cared about the racing style of these kind of races like 30 years ago. Now everyone is a snowflake. Thank you, Netflix. You brought all these silly fans into the sport. Obviously, not a fan of Drive to Survive too much then. Interviewing Lando as well. Oh, he was so unlucky this race. Put the Wii music. We've hit it now. We've hit it. If we get, you know what? If we can get anywhere near 1,400, I'll play the Wii music as we cross it. That's my promise. I promise. You should put the music. I will. I promise you. If we get near 1,400 by the end, I'll play the Wii music. Everyone loves the Wii music. All of a sudden, everyone loves F1. Exactly. Look, at the end of the day, this has been absolutely mega for the sport this season. It's been crazy. The battles have been phenomenal. So, and while I eat some food, I'm gonna bring in a guest. So this is Morgs6908. You can follow him on Twitter as well. Here you go. Let's get him to join. I'm ringing him now. Let's see if he. Let's see how quickly he wants to come in. Hello, Morgan. Hello. How are you doing today? Apart from being ill, I hope you're doing well.
You hear my voice already. It's not great today.
Yeah,
it's obvious.
So, hang on, you're only coming through one ear for me. Let me fix that. There we go, that's better. Yeah. So what did you think of that? What did you think of that race? What did you make of it while I eat some food?
Oh my god. Where do I even start with that race, man? I mean, it was more just chaos than a race. It was just mental in every single way possible. Obviously having like 3 standing starts, and then it, as you mentioned in the stream, it swung about 3 times the championship in about 20 laps. It probably swung about 20 times in that race overall, though. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was a bit. Well, and the fact that the stewards now, it's been a weird day. I don't think it's been a good day for new fans to get into Formula One, but it's a good day for people just interested in a dramatic title fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't know. I'd say if I was a new fan watching it, I'd be going, "Is this normal?" Answer: probably not. I don't think it should be normal either. But was it was a bit of a shambles actually. What did you make of the race direction on that front?
I think people give Michael Massey a hard time a lot of the time, but I think everything that people gave Michael Massey a bit of stick for today was probably more justified. The red flag call, people calling that conspiracy, that's not a conspiracy. The barrier needed repairing. There's no alternative there. It needed repairing. Nothing else could be done. But then there's just the other incidents in terms of making. Also, actually, I do like the fact he spoke to Red Bull, because obviously it was normally they would have the choice to give Lewis the position back
Yeah.
in pre-track conditions, or they would give a penalty.
Yeah.
So it's good that they gave an option to Red Bull. But then, like, in terms of the way he managed the race, he kind of began to lose control a lot later on.
Yeah.
Especially with what ended up being, apparently Hamilton hadn't even been told that Verstappen was given the position. It was odd. There were parts where Michael Massey was out of control of it, but I think in the first half he did quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the most part it was okay. But I'd say definitely subpar though from what you'd want. But you know, that's one thing I'll definitely defend was the option, the seeming negotiation with yes, I did unmute myself. The seeming negotiation that they had with Red Bull, because it's an option that they would have had during the race. They would have been able, without the red flag, to after a couple of laps go, oh, you know what? Actually, on balance, we probably should give that position back, and then therefore not get a time penalty for it. So I'd say that was pretty fair.
Although, one thing, when we had the Verstappen incident later on where he left the track in advantage, then he tried to give the position back and it didn't end up working, and then he got a penalty anyway. I think that was slightly harsh. Because he did make an effort to give the position back at the end of the day. So he shouldn't really got penalised for it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I don't think it really affected the race in the end.
No. Yeah, well, obviously, at the end of the day, Max's tyres completely went off at the end. It was definitely not the right strategy to be on those medium tyres. But, yeah, I think what was... It was pretty interesting in the most part. I don't know, really. I don't know, there were so many talking points from that race. It's just... so he effed up the delivery of the negotiation. Yeah, he absolutely did, saying we'll give you second place instead of third. That was, I've got to say, there was probably a little bit of confusion there, and not ideal at all. Right, I'm trying to look at two things.
Yeah, it kind of felt like he was kind of making up as he went along. But I think he just made a mistake, and he knew what he meant.
Yeah.
Didn't Michael Massey? It was a bit odd though for like all of us watching for a minute or so, believing that Verstappen would actually be second,
Yeah,
and it'd
which
be like,
made no sense at all.
what was this for?
Yeah, absolutely. And then there was a bit confusion as well, people thinking, oh wait, so Ocon's not going to be first, despite, you know, legitimately earning the lead. So, yeah, for a minute it looked like it could be a bit of a harsh punishment, for Ocon as well. But in the end, I think it all sorted itself out, thankfully, because that could have been a little bit messy. But yeah, thankfully it was all okay. So someone in the chat saying Verstappen is a dirty driver. He can't accept to be overtaken. He'll learn though. He's still young. Well. That's interesting. Interesting argument to see from people. He is in his 7th year of F1 now, isn't he?
Yeah. But he is 24 as well. He hasn't had the junior Formula experience that other drivers would have had.
This is one of his, or at least recently, his first actual title fight. It's his first major title fight in his career ever. So, you know, he's learning a lot about himself and how he handles it, isn't he?
Yeah. Sorry, I zoned out what you said then. I am tired. I will let myself off.
Yeah, I just took a mouthful of food as well. One sec.
High quality professional streaming here on RaceBeacon.
This is properly, yeah, you know, you can come in. This is someone asked me if I was Will Buxton last stream. Yeah, we're really high quality.
That's a compliment.
I know, I like that. I like Will Buxton. But yes. So in that sense, he's young. Why won't Max yield to being overtaken? He will cut a corner, just stay in front. I mean, at the end of the day, by letting Lewis go, he's ceded the race because he didn't seem quick enough to actually get the move done. So look, that was his absolute desperation. He knew he needed to stay ahead of Lewis, and that's why he did everything he did in that race. What's he saying?
Lewis has just left the stewards room, by the way.
Okay, I'll have a look at that on the stream.
Mood seems okay. He gave a thumbs up to someone before, so he doesn't seem like he's taking a selfie with a fan now. So I think it's probably gone
like he's
okay
get a
for him.
penalty then, I imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine he'd be a lot more stressed.
Yeah, so this was them on their way to... Yeah, I don't think it would ever be a penalty for Lewis himself, so it'll be interesting
Although
to see
I do
more
think
where
it was on Lewis.
Yeah, I think
That's
to an
my
extent,
opinion
yeah.
with
I
that.
think it, but I don't know. I think it was more through misunderstanding than
It
like
was, yeah.
sheer fault. Than I don't know. It's sort of in a grey area. And like you say as well, with Max getting the penalty for not letting Lewis pass, despite the fact he tried. That's a real grey area of the rules as well. We've never seen F1 before. Someone tried to give a place back, and the other driver flat out refused to take it. So it's a really interesting one. And honestly, I feel for the race directors a little bit and the stewards in this race, but I've still got to say the actual operational things of it was quite poor as it went on. So that was a little bit of a shame. But better not forget that Max is the one who's brought excitement back to F1 since 2016. Absolutely, and you have to say Max as a whole has been an absolute addition to the sport, an absolutely brilliant addition to the sport. So Sky is showing some parts of the Verstappen and Hamilton press conference after the race, so I couldn't unfortunately hear that, but that was interesting at least. But Max conceded the position only after making numerous wrong and dangerous judgments, but Max gave the opportunity from Lewis to overtake, but he has decided to run into his bump instead. I don't want any penalties for Max, even though I'm a Lewis fan. I believe Ham can win in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, and that's the thing, like I say, I've been saying for weeks, I really, really want this to go down to the last race of the season with them equal on points, and I predicted it as well, so I'm pretty happy that that ended up being the result. So
I'd say that, to be honest, it was quite lucky that it came out that way, because if you had Bottas running in third, or you had Perez still in the race, they could have well just stopped that situation from it being tied with a fastest lap steal. It was quite lucky, it was quite chaotic.
yeah, absolutely.
Normal situation, we would have had a 1 point lead to Verstappen, or a 15-point lead, which we almost had, and
It looked like for a while we
I
won.
don't know. I mean, yeah, it did. And I was kind of getting worried that was championship over. Because if Verstappen win the final race with 15-point lead, it would be, if Hamilton wins fastest lap, Verstappen just needs fourth or higher.
Yeah.
And he's not finished outside the top two in any race that he hasn't been taken out in, except Monza, which I put more blame on him. So pretty much he's very consistently in one or two. So it would be 2016 Abu Dhabi all over again. Really, the only way Hamilton would
trying
win.
to lure other drivers into the overtake. And I don't think if you're in a situation in a final race and you're a drive behind, let's say you're a Leclerc, a Bottas, a Perez. Obviously, Bottas is going to give it a go, but Leclerc and Perez, maybe like Norris as well, if McLaren have some good pace, Sainz, which of them are going to think, you know what? I'm in a pretty good position in this race, so what am I going to do? I'm going to try to overtake a Max Verstappen who, yes, he's being held up, but it's still a Max Verstappen who has absolutely everything to gain in this situation. He has everything to lose, so he's just going to, he's going to defend with all his might. It's not going to work, that strategy. So it's sort of a good thing we didn't end up in that position, because I can't really see many of the drivers probably giving it a go in that situation.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some quotes on Twitter for Hamilton saying, you might have already read this out on the stream, I'm not sure, but Max is trying to let me pass before the DRS zone and then use the DRS himself, but I'm not stupid.
So that's good. So that at least validates what I was saying a little bit earlier on. And I said, Lewis isn't, well, I think I actually said at one point Lewis isn't stupid. So I feel like I'm doing Lewis isn't stupid. He knew what Max was trying to do. So look, it makes sense, doesn't it? It absolutely makes sense. Senna will be watching the last race from heaven. That's nice.
I mean, the thing is, the gap between the speed that Verstappen was going, like, I reckon that Lewis would have easily been safe if he did overtake. I don't think Verstappen would have built the speed back quick enough to be in a good position. But I don't know. It would have been close, but I think Hamilton could have held it. The thing what's been underestimated this race is how significant that VSC was, because it came out as Verstappen and Hamilton were entering the first sector.
Yeah.
And that's a bit where Hamilton's always been losing out, and then it was undeployed again, or back to green flag, in the middle of the second sector where the slipstream can start. So it was so significant for this race, that single VSC. Without that, I don't know whether Hamilton would have even got him.
No, I really don't. I said during the race to my family as well, I was like, hang on a sec, this VSC's come out at a really good point. Where it said VSC ending, I saw they were just about sector 2. I'm like, hang on a sec, this is this could be it. Because obviously he was within 1 second when the VSC came out, so he had to stick within a delta effectively that would have kept him within 1 second. So, that was really good timing for him. and it gave him the great opportunity as well to hold it. And, you know, in the end, he was able to. Right, what's everyone saying in the chat then? We've got, you'd have to move online to get position. It seems like they both could have made better. Yeah, I think Aaron sums up pretty well there. Lewis could have done better in the sense that obviously it was avoidable contact, but nonetheless, avoiding that contact would have pretty much meant he would have had to overtaken Max, which he doesn't want to do because, you know, the first thing that Max is going to do is then send it up the inside with DRS and X straight. So, yeah, what we see, we've got 3 more tweets coming up. So Helmut Marko says Red Bull feel it's not treated the same as Mercedes by the stewards after Verstappen's penalty ended his win hopes in Jeddah. So we've got Hamilton leaving race control. So yeah, lovely selfie of the fans. Looking pretty calm for the most part. So definitely doesn't seem a penalty coming his way. I can't think of a reason there really would be a penalty coming his way either though. Question is, what's going on with Max and will it end up being a penalty? That's effectively what we're waiting on. Hopefully we'd have to wait till tomorrow for this. I think there should be a decision that can be made tonight for sure.
Well, we know what F1's like.
Probably be next week.
Yeah, it'll be like qualifying in Abu Dhabi that we'll find out.
Yeah.
And then it'll probably be like no further action anyway. They would wait for a week for nothing.
Then someone will appeal it and we've got to wait another week.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
What I don't want is the FIA to decide the championship and like it be done in the stewards room 2 hours after the end of the race.
Absolutely.
I want it done. It'll be hilarious if they take each other out in the next race. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to see the winner finish the race.
You want a really long, clean battle in which everyone comes out on top. It's like, yeah, you know, you want to like applaud them across the line. It's like, wow, well done, like that sort of thing. That's the perfect end to the season, and hopefully that's what we get. Obviously, depending on who you are, you're gonna prefer a certain one of those 2 drivers to be the one that you're applauding as they cross the line.
Interesting that 42% of people think Max Verstappen will win compared to 58 Lewis Hamilton in your poll. I just thought I'd check.
That's pretty fun. I quite like that one. It does highlight how unpredictable this season has been. But you never know. Look, Abu Dhabi's had a redesign and it could suit. I've got on the face of it, it suits Mercedes more, but on the face of it, this was going to be an easy Mercedes win. Okay, they probably did have the race pace in the end, but Max did not make that easy one bit. We're not going to have as many safety cars next week. We're not going to have the red flags next week. It won't be as dramatic, I don't think. Or at least on the crashing point of view and the carnage. But hopefully they do give it a proper battle. That's the dream situation. So we'll see if Max will get a penalty for the next weekend. Max should change his view and leave F1. Maybe a bit of an extreme measure.
Just thinking about the Abu Dhabi track now. Really, Sector 3 is the only one where you'll struggle to follow now. I'm thinking Sector 1, you'll have DRS, then you'll have one corner before you can pretty much follow all the way down to the start of Sector 3 with a few long, quick corners, but with DRS to catch you up. So it could well be a good race next weekend. It just depends how easy it is weekend. But I think it could definitely be a good race next week, even with or without a championship fight. But obviously, we'll be having a championship fight, so be even better.
So from Surya as well, hey mate, had a good time today. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm really tired. I'm going to shut myself down. Hope to see you again soon. Yeah, thank you. You've been great in the chat as well throughout the course of the day. So been great to see your name pop up. And I guess good night as well. That's I've got to say, to be fair, staying up till 3 a.m. to watch this, I've got to respect quite a bit. But yeah, hopefully by the time you wake up, you can, I don't know, pop to the end of the stream or, just probably Google what the result was and you can get that, so. I'm going to quickly have another check on the FIA documents website because, of course, we are still waiting decisions for the Charles Leclerc-Sergio Perez incident, which we haven't really talked about so far on the stream at all. So, Morgan, while I eat some more food, what was your opinion on that?
It was all Perez's fault. And he's the one that suffered. Leclerc was just hanging out on the outside. Maybe you could argue that Leclerc should have backed off, but he didn't have he had every right to be there. And Perez just closed off the gap and tagged him and span around. So I'd say that's more. That's more on Checo there, and he was the one that was punished. So I'd say there's probably going to be no further action.
Yeah.
But I could have an incorrect opinion because people might think that Leclerc should have backed out, which is also valid to be fair because Leclerc was barely alongside, just a little bit alongside. But it's lap one of a race. You're gonna have cars everywhere, so Perez should have thought about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I pretty much agree with that. Charles could have done more to avoid it for sure, but at the end of the day, Perez is one who sort of closed the door, so, you know, it's a close one, it's a tricky one. Oh, Kimi and Vettel as well, I forgot all about that. Kimi with a brilliant dive up the inside down into turn 1, but then as the lap went on, it got a little bit messy, and there was, of course, contact at the end as well. I thought Kimi had a right to hold it around the outside. Do I think it was a clever thing to do from a very experienced driver? Not necessarily. But did he have a right to do it? I'd say probably on balance. And I think Seb was understeering. I think Seb was maybe going to run wide anyway. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a bit more debate there. Not entirely sure.
That one was a weird one. They both just went off by themselves and they just were alongside, which kind of ruined it for both of them. It was a weird incident. Just going to be a missing incident if it's not been already decided on. Vettel just understeered off, but also Kimi was hanging around the outside, where arguably he maybe shouldn't have been. So.
And also apologies, I have nearly finished my food, but again, like I say, I haven't eaten pretty much all day today, so I feel like it's time I do.
What are you eating?
I have burgers and chips. Actually, it's really very nice. I'm happy with life at the moment.
Very nice.
Yeah, very healthy meal.
Uni diet, it's fine. Uni diet, it's fine.
Oh, yes, yeah. Right. Right, what's going on in the chat? Is the ASMR back? Oh, yeah, I don't think I muted myself that time. Apologies for that. Right, what we're seeing. So Max Verstappen races like he's on a joyride from the police. Well, that'd be interesting. You know, I would spice up F1 a little bit, but yeah. Obviously, I'm trying to listen to Ted's notebook at the same time as well to sort of see if there's anything ongoing. But if we again take a look back at the FIA documents, that's sort of what we're waiting on. Hopefully, there will be a decision tonight. Obviously, this is the 5 second for leaving track and gaining an advantage earlier on in the race. I do hope we do get something though. That would be a bit nicer. What have we got here? So that's not in English. Let me translate. He could. Okay, right. So summary 1. He could with everything and everyone. Hamilton wins the race full of incidents and lunges. He endured, survived, and pulled the hammer out when he played. It comes out more reinforced. He wants more blow bottom. Okay, so right. I thought that was breaking news. As it turns out, it was praising Mercedes. Also, Bottas's drag race at the end was saying pretty fun actually. I quite enjoyed that part. What are we seeing?
Start for Ocon though.
Yeah.
I just wanted him podium. Bottas on the podium. Sorry for any Bottas fans. It's just boring. Ocon podiums are so much more fun.
I'm going to
get grilled by a singular Bottas fan in the chat. I'm just abusing Bottas, but I will stop now.
Yes. There was a point in the race where Lando was right at the back and Ocon was winning, and I was just like, I can't have Ocon winning 2 races before Lando wins 1. I was like, no, come on. But in the end, there was not a real risk of that because Mercedes with Hamilton and then of course Verstappen they were just in an absolute league of their own today. They did a phenomenal job. What are we seeing? So Max has 2 points. Also, Hammer has 2. Is that penalty points from this race? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. So if you get position,
I know
back,
Max is on 5 penalty points. So
I read that in the other document. So I'm not entirely sure to be honest. There's still no breaking news or anything. So we'll wait. We'll wait on that one.
Something to note today as well is that, I mean, obviously we've known it for a while, but the difference between Hamilton and Bottas, because Hamilton overtook Ocon within 1 lap without DRS very quickly.
Yeah.
Bottas had 2 cars to overtake, to be fair, Ricciardo and Ocon, but took 30 laps to overtake them and barely just got Ocon at the end. So I think that kind of showed the difference between the skill of Hamilton and Bottas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, it kind of shows why Hamilton and Verstappen are so far clear, and why these 2 drivers are the ones who are fighting for the championship and not a Bottas or not a Perez.
Yeah, absolutely today. Yeah, we started with Bottas, and we've seen it recently as well. He struggles to get through the traffic. His actual race pace isn't horrendous. When he's in clean air, he's a couple attempts of that maybe off Lewis. But it's when he's in traffic, he just doesn't have that racecraft, that cutting edge, just to send it down the inside and make it work. And I think he's really struggled with that this season, and it's been a bit of a shame, really. Of course, a big crash as well in Imola when he was racing Russell. The fact that he was behind Russell in the first place was a massive issue. So yeah, so it does feel a bit like slandering Bottas. I feel like we're going a bit harsh on him, but it's a valid point.
Yeah, someone asking about how many penalty points for a grid penalty. I believe it's just 12 for a race ban.
Yeah.
And it's 3 reprimands for a 10 place grid penalty though, which Hamilton has 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure how many Verstappen has. It could well be what that guy was referring to before with the 2 points.
2 reprimands maybe, yeah, potentially. What we look at as well. Which cars does the next race suit more? Well, on the face of it, Mercedes, but we said as well before coming into this race that this was going to be Mercedes' easiest race. They'd glide to victory. That didn't quite happen in the end, so I'm not sure how much we can trust the initial look of the track, but it's pretty interesting. Both round Ham have 2 points each. Do they? I know, is it Max on 5? I swear Max is on 5. At least the document said so. Right, what are we seeing as well? Let's see if there's any...
By the way, did you mention... I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but I think it's important to mention. We got on the Formula 2 crash earlier. Christian Lundgaard tweeted about 50 minutes ago.
Lundgaard. Okay, I'll have a look.
Happy to see Theo okay. That made up for today. So Theo Pourchaire is okay, and then he said, "Hope you stay safe and recover for next weekend. My thoughts go out to Enzo, hoping he is okay. Don't have much information, but crossing everything I have for you. See you next week."
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Pourchaire is okay.
Yeah, that's
we
good to hear.
Still have no official.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it just came back into my head. I saw it before, but I didn't know if he mentioned it on here. So
no, I didn't see that one.
Let people know.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's really good to hear. Could have been a lot worse than I think it ended up being. So it's a bit nicer. But right, let's see. Again, if you knew, we've got this as well. I think this is more of the opinion piece he was saying. Defeated Max leaves Jeddah touch, but still leader. Too aggressive. Each fight was an all or nothing. He has lost temper. The Max of years ago returns. A little calm will do you good because you have speed. We can forget about Perez and nothing went right. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he's really far off there. Was this a return to the do or die Max that we saw years ago that we thought he'd sort of ironed out? I'm not entirely sure. What's this? Actually, yes, a better sent the link. I'll quickly have a look at that. So, everyone penalty points, current points. Huh. I mean, it does say Verstappen's on too, to be fair. The FIA document said he was on 5, though. As is Lewis.
The FIA's organisation for you.
Yeah. Probably completely wrong. So if Max wins, will he be the youngest driver ever to win it? He wouldn't be the youngest champion. I think that's still Vettel, isn't it? Question.
Theo Pourchaire has just tweeted.
Ooh.
Hey everyone, just wanted to tell you that I'm globally fine. For the moment, I don't know if that is already the end of the season for me, but the most important is not that. This is very grammatically poor. But the English isn't his first language, so we'll let him off. But the most important is not that. That was a really big one, and Enzo is injured. I wish him the best recovery possible. You guys can send him kind messages. He needs that.
Oh, okay.
So that's good to hear. He's okay.
Yeah. That's good to hear. Also, while you're saying that as well, no further action between Leclerc and Perez. I assume that's deemed a racing incident. I'm actually going to take a look at the reasoning for this, because for me that was more on Checo, but we'll see. The stewards heard from the driver of car 16, Charles Leclerc, and the driver of car 11, Sergio Perez. Team representatives reviewed the video evidence and determined that neither driver was predominantly to blame. So there's no further explanation than that. So just a bog standard racing incident. I think we've read that one before quite a few times. Oh, I just actually downloaded a different one as well. What we're looking at. So Lando Norris is better than Michael Schumacher. Yeah, I'll go for that. Yes. Go on, Lando. Go on, son. Like I say, I'm completely unbiased until we come to Lando Norris. I'm unapologetic in that. So Vettel is always so relaxed. Fantastic driver, really loves a joke. I've got to say, I didn't like Vettel much when he was winning because I was like 10 to 15 at the time. It wasn't really, I wasn't too much into a critical thought. I was just like, oh, he keeps winning, don't like him. But no, the more I've sort of like seen of him, and whenever he's not winning, I find him like a really likable person. To be fair. I've got to say, it's just wholesome Seb content. That's what we need in life, more wholesome Seb content. What else do we see? So, will a penalty put Max P3? It depends what penalty it'll be. Realistically, I mean, a drive-through is a 20-second penalty. A post-race drive-through severity is 20 seconds, and that would put him behind Valtteri, so... and Ocon, for that matter, and probably another driver as well. So let's hope for... hang on, would it? It would put him behind Bottas... no, Ricciardo dropped off a lot from the Ocon-Bottas battle, as it turns out. I didn't quite realise how much he dropped off by the end of the race. Oh, I think am I getting a phone call? Hang on. My phone is vibrating. Hang on. No, I've just had about 100 notifications come through at once. Never mind. Big up to the F1 community. Things got a bit heated, but there was some healthy debate that didn't turn ugly. Very rare on the internet. I've got to say as well, for the most part, even when we came right live, the chat was pretty good. So I'll give you some credit for that. Well, there were a couple of people that had to be timed out, but I'd say them. Big round of applause to the mods and for the most part the people in the chat. So there you go. Thank you guys. As ever, being absolutely brilliant. That's Massey's calling. What we're seeing. Stop saying you're unbiased. All Brits, including the ones in F1 broadcasts, are. I'm really not. Well, I'm biased towards a different Brit, if that's... I mean, yeah, I'm not completely unbiased in general. Like, I'm biased towards McLaren and Lando, but I'm still not going to, go out and start saying that things that were their fault aren't their fault. I'm not being I don't think we're not biased, are we? We're very good journalists. Right, we'll see. We're getting used to the controversies. He's not biased. Thank you, Odyssey. I like that. Penalty for Hamilton from Duran saying he'd quite like to see that. Also, the polls tightened a little bit as we're approaching 1,000 votes. We've got Max Verstappen on 42%, Lewis on 58%. So, hopefully it's that close. Fake Brits. We're fake Brits. He's Welsh for what it's worth.
What was that? Sorry, I zoned out. I heard I'm Welsh. Well,
we're
I'm
fake.
Welsh.
We're fake Brits. We're fake Brits. Apparently.
I'm Welsh. I don't support English drivers.
Racist.
The only good driver to ever race in Formula 1 is Tom.
I think you cut off at the end there, but I think I know where you're going. Right. What was it? So do you think that the Jeddah race will be changed by next year to avoid so many problems, or will drivers just have to get used to it? Well, look, a lot of the incidents that actually happened at the track today weren't an inherent problem with the actual track itself, necessarily. You have short runoffs in other tracks in the season. You have drivers hitting walls. We've had red flags for drivers piercing Tech Pro barriers at other tracks as well. So I don't think there was anything really that happened that was inherently... inherently the fault of the track. Obviously, the track contributed to elements of it, but at the end of the day, it was the drivers who behaved in a way that maybe... I don't know, there's something about street circuits where drivers just become a little bit more desperate, and maybe more desperate than they needed to be, I think, for a part. What are we saying?
I'll let you cut out on my end.
Oh, I don't know then. I don't know if
Maybe you didn't count on the stream, might just be my internet. Probably my internet.
Right, fair enough. Oh, but blame... Are you at uni or...?
Yeah, classic uni internet.
I was going to say just blame the internet. If it's not your home internet, blame it. Right, what else are we seeing? So, Max is an escaped loony driving an F1 car. I don't know, he's pretty damn good at it. We'll get escaped loony. Thoughts on Bottas slowing Verstappen down during VSC? Yeah, before they came into the pit lane, that was a... I've got to say, for me, that was probably worthy of a penalty. He definitely slowed down to allow the double stack. And if he didn't, there was a decent chance Max would have jumped him in the pit lane. So fortunately, the red flag came out, and it wasn't a real issue in the end because Max just didn't pit anyway. So in the end, it didn't make a massive difference, but it definitely could have. And I think if Max pitted and didn't gain from it, I think then it would have been very likely that Bottas would have been given a penalty. But since he didn't pit anyway, I don't think anything further will be done.
What do you reckon would have happened if the red flag never came out? With Verstappen obviously choosing not to pit, we had a lot of VSDs, and that probably would have happened with or without the red flags and standing starts. But I'm thinking, I thought at the time that Verstappen could potentially be risking it, even a top two for sure, but maybe even risking a top three, because the field's so bunched together. He'll be on mediums, which will die quite quickly. He won't be able to pull away. It depends how quickly Leclerc and Perez would have got through the pack as well, but
yeah,
I think it wouldn't have been straightforward for him to even get a podium in that race.
No, absolutely wouldn't. It would have been a real hard ask. And like I said a bit earlier on, I think it was a massive gamble that really, really did pay off. They did very strongly. Nice work again at RaceBeacon. Keep it up. Love it. Thank you so much, Patrick. That means I love reading these nice messages. They make me feel so happy. Right, I think we're going to see a Schumacher versus Hill crash in Abu Dhabi. Ooh, that's a big thing as well. There is genuinely a really high chance that they're going to crash because neither of them are going to want to yield. I don't think they're going to go in with the mindset of I'm going to crash the other one out. But they are in the mindset of, no, I'm not going to give up here. They're really, really a bit like what Max did today, leaving absolutely nothing on the table. And honestly, it's a miracle that both Max and Lewis finished that race today.
Just looking at Tad's notebook, by the way, Hamilton and Mercedes celebrated if they've won, so at least if there's any sort of penalty, it's not going to them.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like after the trip to Stewards, it's probably a good call, isn't it? You don't want to do that before, then get it taken away. Dangerous isn't the right word. It's racing. Yeah, to an extent, yeah. I'd say it was dangerous racing. It was on the edge. Like, he left absolutely everything out there, and you can't really fault him for it, but I think at times he overextended what's reasonable of a championship leader to do. I think that's fair to say. But yeah, there's a lot going on. If both crash, Max wins. Yes. So if both of them crash out, and let's say it's deemed a racing incident, no further penalties are given for anything, then it is Max who wins the championship on countback for wins. So at the moment, Lewis is one short of Max's total, I believe. So yeah, that is obviously that would go that way. The reason they finished the race, Hamilton Max, due to experience of Hamilton. Yeah, to an extent, Hamilton was a bit more intelligent when they were wheel to wheel. Actually, no, not intelligent. I'd say cautious, which in a championship battle is more intelligent to do. But like I say, look, Max had a chance to win the championship today. He was, or as good as win the championship today. He's not going to let Lewis go and make it a title fight in Abu Dhabi. Would you rather go into the last race 15 points ahead or equal on points? That was his option there. So I think I know the one I would have taken. Or if they crash with someone to blame, will the blame team then get a points deduction? I don't know what they'd do. I don't know how they'd do it. There's no real recent precedent for how it would work, and penalties change over time, so the historic ones probably aren't actually a lot to go off of. Being brutally honest, I don't know. If one of them is to blame as well for the crash, I don't know what will happen. Like, let's say if Max crashes into Lewis, it's not a deliberate crash, but Max has gone for like a late dive bomb. It's ended in contact, both out the race. I don't dare think what the stewards would do with that. Lewis wasn't cautious at the restart when Max took over. And how about the crash? That was not cautious too. Well, actually, I don't know. That wasn't being overly aggressive either. I wouldn't say it was either aggressive or cautious. It was a misunderstanding that led to a crash. Obviously, so if Max takes out Hamilton next Sunday, he'll get a severe penalty. You'd imagine, wouldn't you? It'd be a really severe penalty. I could see points deductions definitely if either of the championship leaders take each other out. Definitely.
Would love to see that.
I
don't want to.
Twitter drama.
It'll be so funny. It'll be so fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. I want to see it ended cleanly on track, but I can't. It will just be funny if it is.
It would be really funny. And that's the thing, you know. It's pretty. It's entirely possible that it's going to happen. That's the thing with this season. So many things we weren't expecting to happen have ended up happening. So, honestly, no clue what to expect at all. And it's going to go on that way. And I can't. I'm not looking forward to the winter break. Not that I ever am, but I feel like I'm really going to miss F1 this time out because we've been treated this year. I'm genuinely going to miss it when we're gone. It's shown on telemetry apparently, and Max said he did break. So yeah, I mean, look. Well, actually, I'll show the video again because a lot of people would have joined since. So let's bring up this video. Oh God. Here we go. I wasn't expected to be there. So here we go. Let's do a quick sort of a little analysis on the video. So we see, obviously, let Lewis pass strategically, being the key word there. So we then come to the point later on in the lap. You've got DRS detection just at the end here. You can see Max clearly begins to slow down here. Lewis doesn't fly past. And as Lewis said, as we know now, he said, look, he knows what Max is doing. He's not stupid. But Max keeps slowing, keeps slowing, keeps slowing. And then, I think, because we get really close to DRS detection here, I think Max might slow down a little bit more because it seemed like they were somewhat even on pace for a good near second or so. And then Max slows a little bit more, and that's what stewards are going to be looking at. If Max touched a brake in this period here, if Max is on the brakes at this point, I do think he's probably going to end up with some form of penalty because it would be a form of brake checking and obviously not safe to do when the driver's right behind you. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Definitely interesting.
What do you reckon the penalty will be for that, though? If he does get found guilty, how severe? Because it's quite severe of an offence.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, the FA will be reluctant. And he was about 20 seconds ahead of Ocon as well.
Exactly.
Or Bottas.
So if they choose to do a effective drive-through penalty, so 20 seconds penalty, that puts him down to P4, which that is 6 points behind Lewis, which still means whoever wins the last race is going to win the championship. But it does put us in the possibility that we're going to end the season. So if Lewis... Oh, no, because if Lewis wins the race, he's automatically... I thought for a second then there was a slight option that we would end up with them even on wins, but that's going the other way on numbers, so it doesn't quite work. But they could be even on points. This championship, theoretically, if a 20-second penalty is given, could still go to the count back of wins with Max. So that'd be dramatic, I think. What we see now. So do you think Hamilton will receive a penalty? I don't think Hamilton will receive a penalty for anything. We've seen the Mercedes guys celebrating their win as well, so and picking up all of the points for this weekend. So I can't see a way that Lewis is going to get a penalty for that. So Max is getting a penalty for doing the right thing. Well, I can see where he come from. Look, he was meant to let Lewis pass, but Lewis didn't know it was going to happen, which, you know, it's not Max's fault, obviously. But if Max broke when Lewis was directly behind him, I think that's very likely to be a penalty, I'm afraid. Like, I can't really see how they can argue that one too much. I don't want it to be a penalty. Like I said, I want them even on points. I absolutely do. So I hope it's not, but in a situation where if that is what happened, I think it's going to be a penalty, but we'll have to wait and see, obviously. Hopefully, not too long to wait, and they can come to some form of decision, because the stewards are the goodest thing again when they leave us ages. So yeah, no further action on the Perez-Leclerc one. We've seen this one already. I've got 2 more tweets. These guys had a good night in Jeddah, so there they are, all celebrating the win. So, look, they don't look like people who've just been to stewards and think they're going to wind up with a penalty, do they? And Bottas, I think Bottas is genuinely happy as well, which I like to see. Obviously nabbing the podium right at the end, so pretty good recovery drive in the end. I've got Ted's notebook in one ear, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, because I haven't listened to a single word of it, and I can't hear a single word of it either. So, but yeah, so like we say, no further action between Leclerc and Perez. So that was the first of the 2 getting out of the way. How long did it take actually between it happening and it? So that was about 40-50 minutes or so. So, yeah, realistically on that timing, we should be due the stewards report a decision. But I don't know if that's actually what's going to end up happening. Lewis didn't pass him because he didn't want Max to have DRS advantage. Yeah, like I say with the video. Let's go back again. There we go.
I think I'm going to lead the call because I am just dying.
Yes, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. It was only it was good. Thank you for covering me while I was eating.
No problem. Thanks, Dream, for listening. I'll probably stay watching for the next half hour or so anyway before sleeping. So, yeah, I will see you all later. Goodbye. Enjoy life. Right. Cheers.
Right, okay, there we go. So, let's head back to all of this. Yeah, big thank you to Morgan for being on while I was eating food. But, I mean, look at this. This is just... It's crazy. Just this whole race, everything about it was absolutely ridiculous. The contact here, and that's something we sort of looked at before, is look how many times Max sort of changes his direction here. He goes left, he starts drifting towards the left now, then goes back to the right, back to the left again, and then back to the right last second, and Lewis decides to go left just about here. He's like, yeah, okay, right, I'm dedicated to left now. And it's fortunate he did, because if that was square on impact, that could have been both of them nearly out the race. So, yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Dramatic racing for sure. What else have we got? So, yeah, no, but that's Lewis's problem. It shows that Max is a real driver. That is in Dutch. I cannot read that, sorry. No room to pass. Don't forget Red Bull said Max might need new power units, so Lewis is in prime position. Yeah, potentially going forward this year, he's in a pretty good shape. I think that's fair to say. 5-second penalty was ridiculous. Should have been at least 10. I don't know. I think 5 for the gaining advantage was probably fair enough on balance. Right. So yeah, like I say, look, we're basically just vibing here until we get full decision. So race scrutiny. Let's see if anyone was disqualified. I don't think anyone was, but there we go. Okay, yeah. So it would actually come out as a separate document. That's just saying what was scrutinized. But I think it's pretty interesting to see this being a no further action between Perez and Leclerc. I think Perez was more to blame, but obviously they give some leniency because it's lap 1. Also, for people who've just joined, can we just appreciate how much Toto bends his headset here? They're not meant to do... Hang on, let me pause it. There we go. Look, they're not meant to go that wide. It's also, like I said before, my new favourite F1 reaction picture, this one. It looks like that could either be pure rage or happiness. Like, out of context, that could be either. But yeah. Because if you don't know, he passed in normal circumstances. Brad, who won the race? Chandler, you're not even watching the race, man. Come on. I think it was Mazepin in the end. But anyway, that's about 8 Gs. 8 Gs, that swing. I want to know the forces going through that headset, because that's a strong... I reckon I couldn't do that with mine. I'm not going to try it, but I don't think mine would have survived that. It's already got 1 broken ear, so... Please study physics on the headphone. Totally normal. I don't know. I feel like my physics... part of my degree includes physics, so, you know, there you go. It's coming in handy now. I don't like Mazepin, so he didn't win our channel. That's a shame. Deal with it. Right. So what are we seeing? Headset has experienced more G-force than F1 cars. Some say the headset still works. I think wasn't he seen still with the headset later on? I need to know where they get those headsets from. What's my degree? So I'm doing automotive engineering with motorsport. So I'm quite specialised to talk about this. Yeah. Some cheap Razer headphones for sure. Even on the FIA Merc radio, they said they let Lewis's race engineer know about Max giving back the position. He just didn't let Lewis know. I can't see this being 100% Max's fault. No, I wouldn't say on the face of it it's 100% Max's fault either, to be honest. I wouldn't. I don't think it's really fully Max's fault. It might be one of those bendy headphones. Yeah, well, it must be. Have a bit of headsets are all the same for everyone. Merton might be one of those bendy headphones. Toto is a boss with passion. He absolutely is. Honestly, I love the reaction pictures we've got this year from Toto and Christian. It is perfect for the memes. Absolutely perfect. What are your thoughts on FIA negotiations for Red Bull for penalty? I'd say that's probably one of the things that the race directors got right today. Because normally what would happen without a red flag is that they would have been told to let Lewis pass at some point, or given a straight penalty. It would have been either of the two. So effectively, I think what's happened there is the FIA have gone, well, look, this is a decision that you'd normally have the chance to make. So, you know what? Because of the red flag stopping that, we're gonna ask you: do you want to give the place back? You can do it. You can concede it now, or you can take a gamble and it will go to the stewards and they'll have a look at it and decide. So, I think what's happened is Red Bull have looked at it. They've gone, yeah, you know what? We're probably going to get a penalty for that. That was probably Max's fault, and yeah, it's gone with that. So. They obviously decided it was more beneficial to just, try to do it on track, not cede an extra penalty, which of course he ended up doing in the end, but for different incidents. Right, what else? There's now. Oh, right. I'm now watching American football, so I think it's time I take my headphone out and turn off Sky Go. As Ted's notebook's finished, so right, we're fully back in the room now with the stream. So yeah, don't spam, please. See it. Nix is saying Lewis saw Max clearly slowing. Don't think Lewis made excuse because he hit Max as damaging his rear wheels. I don't think so, really. Right. A lot of messages being deleted now. What are we seeing? I do feel for Ocon, but Bottas drove like a lion to help with the constructors. He absolutely did. Some respect to Bottas. He did have a good end to the race. He was able to just steal that podium off of Ocon, who you do have to feel a little bit sorry for. Yeah. Ghoul's saying as well, like the stream, guys. I mean, if you want to, you can, I suppose. But yeah. Max didn't get any damage. No, he didn't in the end. He's not stopping spamming 5-second penalty. We need to start doing that 5-second penalty for spamming. And in this case, it's 300 seconds. I think that's a much more measured response. I've just realised I've left the stream on this photo. But there we go. So this is what we're really waiting for the result on, is the Max Verstappen being called to the stewards. Have we got anything yet? No, we absolutely have not. So you know what would be absolutely fantastic is if they could make their mind up. Luke Smith has an article out on Autosport with George Russell calls for Jeddah track changes ahead of F1's return next year, saying safety would improve if some of the totally unnecessary small kinks in the layout were removed. Yeah, I know it's sat throughout the course of the race. I don't think the kinks are necessary. It could have just been long straights. You'd have much more chance for overtaking. Dirty air wouldn't play a part. And it would be safer overall. So I think George is pretty spot on there, actually. I'd be inclined to agree with that. I didn't think it was excessively dangerous, the track, but it was... It could have been safer. Definitely could have been safer. And new regulations as well. I'm really looking forward to new regulations on the cars. Hi there, first time viewing you here. Any word on the discussion yet? Max should get 5-place grid for Yas Marina from Kieran. So, hello Kieran, first of all. Great to have you here. It would be a time penalty in this race, is what's going to happen. For what it's worth, I can sort of do the analysis on this video again. I'm sure people are getting quite sick of it by now, but here we go. So we see, look, so let's give position back to Hamilton. Obviously do that strategically. So in this case, strategically is doing it in a part of the track where right at the end here, you have DRS detection. So obviously if Max is the car behind, he's going to get DRS in the long run down to turn 1. Max starts to slow down about here. Lewis closes rapidly. He starts to slow down as well. I don't think he's entirely sure what's going on at this point. He probably clocks about here that Max is trying to let him past. Probably around here-ish. But originally, it would be, hang on, what's going on here? So he slows down as well. Then realises, hang on, Max is going to, bear in mind as well, they have a massive, massive gap to the cars behind. So if they wanted to, they could sit there still for 20 seconds and be perfectly fine. Lewis realises that Max is trying to let him go just before the DRS activation. DRS detection point, which would give Max then to get a good exit round the final corner and go down the inside at turn 1. So as Lewis is approaching, Max he moves over to the left-hand side, to the middle of the track. Realistically, at this angle, when Max actually starts to move, what is Lewis meant to do here? At the speed he's approaching, he can't very quickly go that way, and he can't very quickly go that way, and I don't think there's really enough room anyway. So at this point, if you're Hamilton, you're thinking, oh god, what's going on here? So he starts to slow down, downshifts a bit. We can see him go from 5th to 4th. And around here, it's actually then Max, drifts to the left originally, then goes right, then goes left again, and then goes back to the right, and then realises that Lewis is probably about to hit him here and goes a bit more right as well. But Lewis only dedicates to the left about here. This is where he originally reacts to move to the left-hand side. Right here is when he puts in too much steering angle for what you would expect on what is now a straight. And yeah, that's where it all went a little bit wrong. Just a little bit wrong. Oh, see, that was Happy Toto. Happy Toto. Angry Toto. Oh, wow, that's a great photo as well. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. That's what we got. Why can Lewis choose where Max gives the position back? Ain't that strange? Well, he can choose whether to overtake or not if he wants to. I mean, obviously the risk is normally that stops you doing that, as there's normally cars behind stopping you from, you know, slowing down as well. Show us some other footage. I can't really, to be fair. There's not a lot of other incredibly interesting footage to show you. Helicopter view, please. Oh yeah, that is actually on here, isn't it? I think. Is that on here? I don't know if that is on here. I don't really know. I'm not entirely sure where to find it. This is just probably the easiest one to do because it shows the onboard and you can see Lewis's actual reactions as well. So I feel like it's the most useful one. But of course you can see the closing distance a lot better in the helicopter view, but I don't have that. Let's go. Maybe if they've posted it somewhere. YouTube Shorts. There we go. Oh yeah, guys, go watch my YouTube Shorts. Right, what's this? That's nothing. That's nothing. Okay, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's YouTube Shorts. Cool. But yeah, there we go. So let's see if there's any more decisions coming out. Still nothing. Don't know how long it's going to be. No real updates, to be honest. It doesn't show because it's in the Merc favour. No, I'm not showing it because it's in... Wait, what? I don't even get what you mean. F1 highlights. Yeah, I don't know if I can... I will get copyright striked if I show the direct footage from the F1 highlights. It will auto strike my channel, so I don't really want to do that particularly. Yeah, the heady views on the F1 highlights. Yeah, I can't show it. That, like, seriously, the stream will be it will be flagged for showing monetized content. So everyone feel free to go watch it. Absolutely, you know, absolutely go watch it. I just, you know, I don't want to get demonetized, so or get a strike. What time is it where you are? It's, oh god, it's 10:10. Cool. 10:10. That's the answer. What are we seeing? Look, if the headphones still works, it's brilliant marketing. It is. They should absolutely get out there with the headphones and say, look, we took a hefty whack on the table. We still work. What's your take on it then? Penalty for anyone? Honestly, without the telemetry, I don't know. I can't comfortably say either way. If Max broke when he was in... Is this the video? That's not the video. Where's the video? I think it's lower down. Come on. Give me a video. Yeah, okay, it's definitely not there. I think it's higher up. At the moment, no. Nope. Here we go. Here we go. So, what was I even looking for? I forgot what I was looking for. I've just opened that. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, headphones. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, what was my take on this? Yes, exactly. Yes, I was trying to show at what point I think it would be a penalty and what for, if it works. Let me refresh. Oh, for God's sake. This is going really smoothly. All right, here we go.
Let's give the position back.
So if at this point right here, Max slams onto the brake pedal, if you can see he lifts on the telemetry, or if you can see that he touches the brakes, I do think it could end up being a penalty. I really do. I don't want it to be a penalty, but I think it could be. It definitely could be. What that penalty would be, another question. Could be a simple 5-second penalty. Could be a 10-second penalty. Could be more. Could be a drive-through, which is effectively a 20-second penalty, which would put him behind Bottas and Ocon behind him. So it's a big call, no matter what they go with here. Very, very big call. All right, we'll sing in chat. So telemetry is linked on Discord. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll have a quick look at that. Is it in the general chat? Let me have a look. Ah, here we go. We have telemetry. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I'm going to quickly watch it to... Okay, I don't think I should get copyrighted for this. It should be okay. Let's see. Oh. So he's... Okay. Okay. So, how this looks, not going to lie, could very easily end up being a penalty because he is on the brakes like he actually somewhat admitted. He's on the brakes here. Lewis is behind. There's the hit in now. There we go. He's still on the brakes when he's hit. There we go. And then accelerates right at the end. But I think what he could argue is that just before the contact's made, he's back on the throttle. Just before contact. Just as it happens, really. Which obviously doesn't work with reaction time. So that'd be the argument, is once he realised how close Lewis was and the fact that it wasn't going to work, is he sped up again. So that's assuming, of course, that the video and the telemetry is perfectly in sync. Which I hope it is. I hope it is. Makes it a bit easier. He isn't on the brakes, he was shifting. Cheers, lovely stream. Take care, and may the best man win. Thank you. Thank you, Zed Leaves. Thank you indeed. If Ham can decide when he can pass, why Max can't brake when he wants? Well, you can't brake if a car's behind you. That's the that's where the rules stand on that one. It would be deliberate, or somewhat deliberate contact. So, at the very least, causing a collision. Yes, he is allowed to brake. You're right. You're right, Aha. He is allowed to brake. But if he's noticed the car right behind him and he brakes, that's when the issue is. Marte's saying anything new? I don't think so yet. I don't think so, unfortunately. We're just waiting. Hopefully it is going to come out tonight. I don't see a reason really why it shouldn't come out tonight, to be honest. Yeah, not anything new here, so. And obviously all of the TV broadcasts have stopped as well, so a lot of the media is sort of filing themselves away for the night. Drinks liquid loudly. Sorry. Like I say, look, I've been... this is... Well, we're on 2 hours of streaming now, so today I've done nearly 6 hours of streaming we're approaching to now. I have not had time to eat or drink, so apologies for that. I have had to have basically dinner during the stream. That's why we had Morgan in a little bit earlier to talk us through the race. Did I miss Red Bull coming out as stewards, or are they still there? We haven't seen any footage at all of Red Bull leaving. It wasn't on it wasn't on Sky or anything either. I didn't see, so I'm not entirely sure. AV saying we love you, mate. Thank you. Max is probably another 2 or 3 years to be a complete driver. His driving IQ needs improving. I think he put a lot of risk in today, I've got to say, definitely. Stephen's saying, I'm so confused what's going on. So effectively Max is under investigation for this incident that happened during the race.
So let's give the position.
This one, obviously, the dramatic moment where the two championship rivals, the two championship titans, collide. This will be interesting. Oh, this is a drag race to the line. Heartbreaking for Ocon. Bottas shaping up wide on the entry to get a great slingshot from the corner. Run up to line using DRS, get as much slipstream as possible, and there we go. Right on the line. Not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, still no updates. They will get to a point where I just have to bite the bullet and go to sleep, but we can sort of keep it going for a bit. It really seems like a cat and mouse game where Max wanted to force Lewis ahead, a great part of the track for him. Lewis didn't want to comply to keep his advantage of a 5-second penalty for Max. I think you've summed it up pretty well there. Definitely. Do I think Max needs to change his driving style? I think in the circumstances of this race, it would have been safer to... do I think he absolutely needs to change his driving style? Not entirely. I would have expected, and I said before the stream, I expected them to both be a little bit safe and cautious coming into this race, but I was proven a little bit wrong, I think it's fair to say. Hamilton's not blind. He saw Max was slow in front, so wide drive basically under the rear wing before passing. There was more than enough space to pass before... Well, okay, so the other thing, missed final touch. What he was doing was he was trying to prevent Max from getting the DRS. That was the idea. Yeah. I think it was weird as well that he was on the racing line. I think that's another debate that Mercedes would have. But again, look, they didn't seem too fussed. They seemed pretty happy, so I don't know if that bodes well for Red Bull or not. But yeah, they both looked very happy after the race when they were doing the celebrations and stuff. So I think I've officially hit 6 hours of streaming today. Oh, I will, but then I've got a week off basically until next weekend, so I can't complain. We've got the whole off season, and I will miss F1. I think it's fair. Max wasn't talking trash. FIA should tell Lewis first that he can pass to the left. Is this the FIA's fault then? Potentially, I think they probably told it the wrong way round. They should have told Lewis that was, or they should have told Mercedes that at some point Max is going to slow down. I think they just got it the wrong way round, really. They told Red Bull first, so Max was like, great, I'll get it out of the way strategically. But also, to be fair, I'm fairly sure I'm fairly sure Ron Meadows and Mercedes and the race engineers were quite slow actually informing Lewis anyway, so it's a bit on them as well. Are you doing YouTube full time? No, I'm not doing YouTube full time. I'm a student on the side with other commitments too, and commentator, broadcaster as well for leagues. So no, I'd love to do it. I would love to do YouTube full time. Maybe if you guys subscribe to the channel. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing a subs push. We're not doing enough subs push. What are we seeing? So, get some weird situations like this if we can see cars given the chance by the FIA to give a place back. And then the other refusing to force the other into a penalty. Max lost his lasting advantage from overtaking off the track, in my opinion. He basically took a slow down penalty. Lewis just also took a slow down to stay behind. Yeah, the thing is, it's more track position than actual timing. Zahir saying, at RaceBeacon, I must say this is a great channel. Subbed. Oh, thank you, Zahir. Thank you so much. What we're seeing as well, maybe you'll be the next F1 speaker. I'd love to be able to do some form of F1 journalism. I mean, I'm already sort of looking to work in Formula 1 anyway from an engineering viewpoint, so, or if I can find loads more money somewhere else, I'll do that. It's the benefit of being an engineer, you've got quite a wide scope that you can go for. Max Verstappen deserves a 5-place penalty. I think at most it's going to be probably a 10-second penalty for causing a collision. It might not end up even impacting his race too much, but if it's anything more, then it will. So that's sort of the interesting bit here that we're sort of waiting to see. Also, 106 likes. I love it when we get to the 3 figures in likes. That's when you know you guys are great. You guys are doing a good job. FIA finds themselves for bad communication. Honestly, after today, they should. A lot of it was pretty poor. I'll go refresh FIA document again. Doesn't seem to be the case, and I don't know. I don't know if I keep staying alive, to be honest. I feel like we've covered a lot of this. I feel like we've sort of covered everything under the sun that went on in that race. So I'll keep reading this. So even though Lewis was told to pass Max, can he decide where to pass, or he has to pass Max at that moment? I'm asking because I don't know. Yeah, to be honest, Kenny, it's there's no precedent for a driver refusing to overtake again. So I don't know where the rules stand on that, because theoretically, Lewis could just drive really slowly and make Lewis fall right to the back, then overtake him. So I don't know where the rules really stand on that. It's pretty interesting one. What is this one? Marco, Red Bull not treated the same as Mercedes by F1 strategy. Yeah, we saw that as well just a little bit earlier. Obviously, Dr. Helmut Marco not particularly happy with that race and how it's gone on, as you can somewhat imagine. Okay, thanks for argument. No worries, Kenny. No worries at all. Yeah, so I can't really give a concrete answer on it because it's never really happened before, and I think it's probably a bit of a loophole in the rules, I'd imagine. Honestly, I think at that point, the driver behind... the driver in front would just decide, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to boot it and take the 5-second time penalty because you're going to lose less time doing that. Are there any news on the 10-car length thing with Hamilton? It was never even investigated. I don't think Red Bull ever even sent it to stewards. And I think it was, again, a grey area in the rules because it wasn't officially a formation lap or officially a full safety car restart. So, again, I think that's going to be a real grey area in rules that they probably need to write in and haven't thought about before because it's a pretty new concept doing the restarts from the red flag, which I love, by the way. So the second restarts, the second start, the first restarts, had me like I was like properly shaking with nerves. It was crazy. Really got into that. Max received 3 penalties during the race effectively. Grid drop on the restart, told by the FIA to let Hamilton through, then received a 5-second penalty as well. Yeah, and I honestly don't think there's a lot of arguing you can do for most of them. With his pace, he wouldn't worry. He knows of the tyres of Max. Yeah, absolutely. In the end, I was so surprised to see how much Max's tyres just dropped off. They completely fell away from him. So, in the end, actually, everything that happened, it didn't need to happen because Lewis could have just breezed past in the last couple of laps of the race. So we had a lot of drama that probably wasn't necessary, but it definitely added to the race. And we come in to the final race of the season with them even on points, which has been my dream, as many of you will know, for several weeks now. I've been saying it, so it's pretty good to see. And we should have a pretty good finale as well. The 5-second penalty seems unfair too. Max literally let him pass. Yeah, he somewhat did in the end, but I think, again, he regained the position way too quickly as well, so... He did let him pass, but then overtook him in the next corner. So I don't think that was on either. I think it was Belgium 2007, Lewis on Massa. It was somewhere around there. Well, of course, Lewis got a penalty for that. So that's somewhat consistent. Hamilton had plenty of time / space to drive past it, but stayed behind because of DRS zone. Yeah, absolutely. Ronda's right there. I'm glad 0.5 points have decided the title. Spa was one of the biggest farces this year. It absolutely was. It was... Honestly, I feel so sorry as well, because the fans haven't got their money back from that. I like genuinely gutted for anyone who went to it. I know people who went to it as well. They were putting pictures up of them sitting in the cold, muddy, banking, and that was really rough, really rough. Instead, I got to go to Silverstone where it was 30 degrees and we were frying, so... That wasn't particularly fun either, but at least we got to see a really good race rather than a bit of rain. It's too hard to call for who will win the championship. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. I honestly can't say at the moment because I expected this to be a pretty comfortable performance for the Mercedes boys, but it wasn't today. They genuinely did struggle a bit more, you know. They're still very quick, don't get me wrong. But it was more of a struggle than I was expecting it to be. Lewis had no idea what was going on there. Yeah, and I think that's why Lewis would never get a penalty for it, is because he genuinely had no idea what was happening. So maybe a fine for Mercedes if it was completely deemed their fault for, you know, not interacting with their driver properly. But I think Mass is a problem in the sport. His decisions lack consistency. They absolutely do. What he decides to send to stewards as well, a bit rough. His communication wasn't fantastic today. I've got to say, it was a subpar performance. I've said it before. It was definitely a subpar performance from the race directors today. So, a shame to see though. It made the race a little bit more entertaining at least. But what do I think about Bottas's performance? Remaining stuck behind 2 cars for a long time could have made P2 out of Max's penalty. Yeah, we keep saying that. We keep saying that with Bottas. He just struggles with the racecraft element of the sport. He hasn't got that cutting edge that just allows him to dive up the inside. He spends too long stuck in the midfield when he is there. When he's in clean air, he's only a couple of tenths a lap slower than Hamilton, which is perfectly fine. You know, you're there to make you can benefit if Max or Perez makes a mistake. But look, when you're trying to work your way through the grid, it's a challenge. He got there in the end, though. He got there in the end today, so it should have been a lot easier, but he got there. His decision to red flag 2 laps late is an issue to me because he knew exactly what that barrier would react like from Leclerc crashing on Friday. Yeah, no, that's a good point, but I think what they wanted to do, they didn't really want to red flag it, ideally. So I think what their idea was, they were going to wait and see until they retrieved Mick's car, just to see if just to see if Max. So I'm reading the chat. Just to see if the tech pro barriers were pierced, and it did look like the front layer was. So, I think it was a situation of they didn't want to red flag it, so they just sort of tried to wait it out. Didn't really work in the end. Obviously, they did have to red flag it anyway. We're seeing as well, is Max going to get a penalty? We really don't know. I'd love to say. We're waiting. I can probably keep going for another 30 minutes or so, but honestly, at that point, I do need, we've got like an hour and a half drive tomorrow to get back to uni, so quite early as well, so I will have to head off eventually. Bottas is very robotic and doesn't really do anything crazy. No, he just sort of consistently drives around at his own pace and does his own thing. Bottas is... Oh yeah, I just read that one. I just came back after about an hour. Any new news? Unfortunately not, Jack. Unfortunately not. Not at the moment, at least. We did have the no further action on Perez and Leclerc, but you know what? At this point, that might have easily been an hour ago, so... Gotta say, though, this stream has flown by. It doesn't feel like I've been going for 2.5 hours. Gotta say. New to sport, when do they close the pit? That would have avoided the shit show after the red flag. When they don't close the pit for the safety car, only if there's anything dangerous going on, so that's the only time the pits will be closed. And as well, I really don't like, I said it after Imola as well, I don't like the fact that you can change your tyres under the pits, under the red flag, sorry. I really don't like that. I don't think that's a good feature at all. But it's what we've got. It's what we've got to deal with. Bottas is a good driver and I like him, but damn, he proves it. It's not just the Merc for Lewis winning 7 times. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point as well. It really does show how special both Lewis and Max are, because Max has the same situation with Checo. He's leagues above him to an extent. It's pretty big. Martinez saying, and if Hamilton is such a good driver and has lots of experience common, he's not stupid. He did exactly what he wanted to do. Dirty try me. He didn't know it's not an excuse. He had the space and the time to pass. Well, yeah, but I don't know whether he thought it was a virtual safety car or, something was going on ahead that meant he'd have to slow and it wouldn't be safe, There's a lot of things going on, but also, look, Hamilton is not stupid. He knew as well, he'd have realised at some point that Max was slowing down to try to get the DRS on him down the main straight. Yeah, he was slowing down to let him pass, but he was also trying to get DRS for the main straight to get right back past again. So, and Lewis knows, it's not going to be easy to overtake. If he wants P1, he can't let Max re-overtake him without any more, virtual safety car or red flag interference. I like the statistic that Hamilton and Bottas have had the most shared podium of any drivers. I didn't actually expect it to be the highest ever. Yeah, they've been together for enough years for it. Obviously, it would have been Hamilton and Rosberg as well if Rosberg didn't jump ship, so... Yeah, it's a pretty fun stat, though. I do like that one. For this, saying a penalty will ruin the championship, let me remind you, the drivers know the rules. If they break them, then they get a penalty. It keeps everyone fair and safe. Go watch Demolition Derby. To an extent, yeah. Equally, though, I still don't want to see a penalty because the drama of having them even on points going into the last race is pretty cool, to be honest. It's pretty damn cool. One thing as well. So dropping back by Hamilton was legal, or at least in a grey area. I think it might be a grey area. I don't think anyone... Well, it's not been reported, so obviously, whatever the rules state, it must be fine. Because it hasn't been reported at all, or looked into. And something tells me Red Bull might have reported that by now. So I head back on Twitter, see if there's anything new. I think we are sort of still just waiting. Like I say, I'll keep going for another 25 minutes or so. 20 minutes. If we get a result in that time, great. If not, sorry, but I don't control the stewards. And obviously I'm not going to stay up until 3 in the morning doing this. What do I think of Hamilton pushing Verstappen out of turn 27? Yeah, that's a tricky one. Lewis definitely forced him off the track. And yeah, I'd say they were probably right. I would have gone as far as giving the black and white flag rather than it being borderline. It's not penalty worthy, but I'd have gone a little bit further than the stewards did. I would have given the black and white flag. I think the entire rulebook needs rewritten and made sounding clear too. Yeah, there's a lot of it that needs changing. A lot of the rules have changed. What's acceptable in the sport's changed as well. Penalty for Max so that DNF for both doesn't give him the championship. He only plays games that Max plays. How many penalties are allowed before disqualification? I don't think there's a set rule on it, but if the stewards just decide that you've picked up way too many penalties, you're a danger to others on track, you're disqualified. That's when it comes to it. Lewis not passing when Max was slowing could have been some hazard ahead, like a marshal, etc. Yeah, exactly. You know, Lewis's initial reaction might be, "Oh, is it a virtual safety car? Has there been a crash ahead?" Something along those lines. Because look, he's not stupid. He doesn't expect Max. You know, he's not just gonna dive up the inside because Max starts slowing. Because anything could be in front of it. So, Carlos Sainz's debut season Ferrari has been outstanding. Personally, he's much more rounded driving than Leclerc. He makes a lot less mistakes, and his racecraft's pretty good. He has got to improve his qualifying though, and that's not just a comment from this race. It's from previous races as well. He's been out in Q2 quite a few too many times, really. And I do think races are more his strong point. So just like any other rule in the FIA, I feel like they decide... That is pretty much how it works. They just sort of pick and choose when they really want to do it. If it's a rough grey area at all, if there's like any hint of a grey area, they'll just decide whether they want to or not. Whether that's right or not is another debate. But yeah. Yeah, it's not double standard. Max wasn't given a penalty in Brazil. Exactly. Look, Max was very lucky not to get a penalty in Brazil. So at the end of the day, I think it evens out a bit. Although I still think Max's in Brazil was worse. I still stand by Max should have had a penalty in Brazil. Same if any other driver did it. It's not just because it's Max, obviously. Right. What's happening here? Basically, awaiting any sort of news regarding Verstappen's penalty. For what happened at turn 27 when Lewis and Max made contact. I'm also receiving a ton of messages. I'm going to quickly read my phone because there's a lot of messages coming through. Let me have a quick read. Okay, cool. No, literally slowed down. Roger. Cool. Max in Brazil was way worse. It was definitely way worse. Max is so lucky to get away with that. I think the stewards and race director need to revamp the rule book in the winter. There's so many loopholes and nothing is black and white. Yeah, and a lot of it just isn't really fair, to be honest. There's large portions of the rule book that aren't particularly fair. So, yeah, they definitely need rewriting. Hopefully, with the new era of cars, though, we experience less of the problems we do now. Please keep streaming until the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Oh god. At this point it feels like I might be. I might continue to do midweek streams. I might have a day off tomorrow because look, I've genuinely done like 6 hours streaming today, so I might have a day off. But we'll see. Yeah, I'll probably be on for Tuesday, Wednesday's the midweek show anyway, so no matter what I'll be on. Might be on Tuesday, might be on Wednesday, might be on Thursday. Oh, no, will be on Wednesday, might be on Thursday. Then should be Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. To cover all of the build-up to the season finale where the two top championship contenders even on points. It's just getting more and more exciting, isn't it? We are reaching a crescendo, and hopefully it comes down to the last lap, last corner. That would be absolutely ace. You cannot take a day off. We depend on you. Oh no, don't say that because I will actually do every day if you say. I might take Monday off. You know, I might do tomorrow off. But then sort of be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 5. Crofty said it, I think. You cannot take a day off. We depend on you. You'll do the shorts all week though. Yeah, I should still be doing the shorts. Maybe I'm sort of experimenting with the shorts though. I'm not entirely sure if they're great for the channel overall. I'll maybe give it a go a little bit more and see what comes out. I might go more into the realms of, instead of doing like pure news, something that can be spread a little bit better, or just sort of experiment between the two. Because obviously the whole idea is to try to get as many eyes on the channel as possible. So, you know, that's your job as creator. So yeah, definitely give it a go. I think I'll keep him up a bit. I'll definitely keep him up a bit. Zahir saying thank you for your stream. No worries, Zahir. No worries at all. Long as Lewis is on top next week, my heart will calm. Well, finally, it's been a long season, hasn't it? I think in a way it's good to get to the end, just so we have some, like, you know, like I say, the final crescendo, the conclusion to what we have been watching all year and building up to. Definitely going to have a Christian Horner shaky foot as I'm awaiting the race start in Abu Dhabi. No doubt about that. No idea what they do for the channel, to be honest, but I like them. Fair enough, no worries. I like to hear that. They're quite easy to make as well, which is a pretty nice benefit. Let's remember Sir Frank. Absolutely, you know, this is last time I have the Sir Frank tribute at the bottom right. So, yeah, absolutely. It's such a sad loss. It's such a sad loss. Someone who's always been around. When I've been watching F1 all my life, I'm only just over 19. So, you know, he's always been. I think for people even in their 40s, 50s, he's always been there. So yeah, it's really sad to see him gone. But like I said in the like obituary video, his name will drive on for many years to come, hopefully. So yeah, it's sad. It's really sad though. I disagree on the best season, to be honest. Too many issues and problems to call it great. Memorable, but not great. Snooze fest for most of it too. A lot of races have been a bit dull. It's been a lot better than last year. But look, I think we're at the stage where we've been treated to a championship battle for the first time in ages. So I think we're all just happy to have that. It's not the best championship battle we've had of all time. Well, it depends how it ends, actually. If they're swapping position every lap next week, like, fair play. That's going to become one of the greatest championship battles of all time. But yeah, the sport is becoming more and more like soccer crying babies trying to influence the FIA. We can be happy that there is finally an exciting season. I mean, yeah, Ronda, but like as well, even in the past, you had appeals, you had people complain to the FIA. It's a sport. You're going to do absolutely everything you can, and we're talking tens to hundreds of millions of dollars between each of these decisions. So, you know, each team's going to do what they can. What's your view on how Mercedes is acting? Don't they seem on edge to you? I think everyone does. Red Bull do as well. They both seem very easy to tick at the moment. Yeah, but that's natural. You've got the pressure of a championship battle, and, you know, like us just getting on, we're talking a lot of money here, a lot of pressure on both of those team principals' heads, and they want to paint the other one in the worst narrative possible. Better sponsors, things like that. So, yeah. I hate to break it to you, but Mercedes will just steamroll Red Bull and Abu Dhabi. It's over, guys. Merc win yet again. And then a snore at the end. FIA uploads a verdict. Did they now? 10-second time penalty for Max, apparently. If you're baiting me, I'm going to be very angry, but you're baiting me. It's a bit rude. Not gonna lie. Bit rude. Unless I'm just genuinely being stupid. We're talking about millions of dollars difference in TV money. Yeah, exactly. You know, like they're going to fight for absolutely everything they can. You've got me refreshing this now. You're going to make me do it, aren't you? Or has it? Oh, it has. Okay, so it's fantastic. Thank you, FIA website. Thanks a lot. That's yeah. Cheers for that. All right. So Chris Medland says decision 10-second time voting for Verstappen for causing a collision. So he stays P2, just about ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, that's absolutely ace. Thank you to the FIA website for that, for providing us all the latest up-to-date information. So here's saying who will win the World Drivers' Championship. Oh, that's so tough. Look, Abu Dhabi should favour Mercedes, but we said that about here. So I'm going to say Lewis. I think Mercedes are going to pick up the constructors and Lewis is going to pick up the drivers. But I really don't know. I really genuinely don't. I don't blame the teams for going to FIA stewards, etc., because it's like diving in a football game to gain your team an advantage. To an extent. I want to show the verdict medium rare. I want to, but it's. I keep refreshing. Oh, right, okay, I see. Yeah, so I'm here, and the FIA, on the FIA documents website, have not put up the verdict. They haven't posted it. So we have Chris Medland's decision here. 10-second time penalty for Verstappen for causing a collision, stays P2. But the FIA document... Where are they finding this? Bruh. Rightio, thank you, Crofty. So, car 33 braked in a manner which caused a collision with car 44, like we somewhat expected. I'm happy to be proven right. That does put a smug face. You know, like Jeremy Clarkson's smug face. I like it when that happens. So 2 penalty points, so total 7. So he's picked up 3 penalty points, I believe. Right. How does this work as well, then? Because the other website said it was a different points tally for penalties, but okay. So, reason, the stewards heard from the driver of car 33, the driver of car 44 and team representative reviewed the video and telemetry evidence and determined that the driver of car 33 was predominantly at fault. I'm going to start calling them Max and Lewis because car 33 is too long to say. At turn 21, the driver of Max Verstappen was given the instruction to give back the position to Lewis. I'm going to say car 44, it's too hard to substitute. And was told by the team to do so strategically. Car 33 significantly slowed at turn 28. That 26 is not 28 turns. However, it was obvious that neither driver wanted to take lead prior to DRS detection. I love this. Everything. I'm so right all the time. I love it. The driver of car 33 stated that he was wondering why car 44 had not overtaken, and the driver of car 44 stated that not having been aware at that stage that car 33 was giving the position back. Sorry, I'm reading on a really small screen, by the way, and it's already a small picture. Was unaware of the reason car 33 was slowing. In deciding to penalise... what? I've got lost on this. It's like, in deciding to penalise the driver of car 33, the key point for the stewards... This makes no sense at all. The key point for the stewards was that the driver of car 33 then braked suddenly, that is 69 bar, and significantly resulting in a 2.4 G deceleration. Yeah, that's quite sudden, actually. I can see where they're coming from. Whilst accepting the driver of car 44 could have overtaken car 33 when that car first slowed down, we understand why he and the driver of car 33 did not wish to be the first to cross DRS. However, the sudden braking by the driver of car 33 was determined by the stewards to be erratic and hence the predominant cause of the collision. And hence the standard penalty of 10 seconds for the type of incident is imposed. Competitors are reminded that they have the right to appeal certain decisions of the stewards in accordance with the Article 15 of the FIA Sporting Code. Right, real apologies for reading it out so poorly, but like I say, I'm looking at a really small screen with small text, and I can't zoom in at all, so apologies, but yeah. So let's head back to the video, give it a look. Let's give it a look again. Is this it? That is it. That's not it. That's the overtake. Where was it? Here it is. So, let's sort of go through. So, obviously, look, we see they give the position back strategically. There we go. They know what that means. So, DRS detection point is right round the corner here. Max is there. He pulls over to the left-hand side. Lewis is clearly unclear at this point what's happening. Your initial reaction is, why is he slowing down? And which way do I go? Max drifts over to the middle of the track, make it really hard here for Lewis to go either way, really. So the most he can do is slow down, because, of course, he's having to decelerate as well. If he tries to turn and decelerate, he's likely to lock up and hit Max anyway. Quick closing speed here, and then really close. So Max goes over to the left, back to the right, back to the left again, then back to the right. Last second, Lewis realises what's happening just here. He then veers to the left, tries to avoid it, and can't. And yeah, then the DRS line is just over here, so. Yep. What I really want to know is actually in the end, who got DRS? I don't know who actually picked up the DRS in the end. But yeah, there we go. Like I say, apologies for reading that out so poorly, but like I say, I'm looking at a really small screen. It's quite difficult. Only 10 secs, got away pretty easily. Yeah, I'd say he did, to be fair. I was thinking there was a genuine chance that could have been a 20-second penalty, which would, of course, see him behind Bottas, so that would have been a pretty big decision. Are they going to upload this document at all? Oh, thanks for that. Obviously, they give it to the media first. Actually, that sort of makes sense. But yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, look, now I can read it. That's that's fantastic. But yeah, there you go. There it is. I'll leave that up for a bit. You know what that means? You know what that means? We can end the stream. But yeah, with 15s, he's 0.2 in front of Bottas. So yeah, Bottas, in the end, if he was able to get Ocon a lap earlier, could have relegated Verstappen to P3. However, look, realistically, they're going to be first and second in Abu Dhabi, unless they crash. So it's not going to make a massive difference on the championship. What's your opinion on both Mercedes and Red Bull pace on the last 3 races? Well, at some tracks Mercedes have performed stronger than I expected, but then here Red Bull performed stronger than I expected as well. So, I don't know, I'd say overall that car's pretty even. For all the talking points, there's not a lot between them at all. We're talking probably 10th at most on average over the course of a season, and I can't really say which one it's in favour of either, so... Neither driver wanted to give the other DRS. Yeah, basically. I really genuinely want to know who got DRS in the end. I really do. This decision is so crazy. I don't know. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day here, look, they've stated Max, at the last second, applied quite a lot of force on the brakes. So, there we go. Car factory then brakes suddenly and significantly, resulting in 2.4 G deceleration. So, look, they have the telemetry. They can sort of see what was going on. I'd say on balance, that's probably fair in the end, but... I can see why people are annoyed. But yeah. It's so good for Max. It'll give him everything on Sunday. Verstappen got DRS. Verstappen got DRS in the end. Can Massey not... So at least he got what he wanted. In a roundabout way. Massey... sorry. Can Massey not tell Red Bull where to give position to Lewis to avoid the whole DRS problem? I think in the future that might be a thing that happens, is if it takes a certain amount of time, they might tell the team where to give the position, or have a designated position give back zone across the track in each sector or something, just to make it safe. No one got DRS. Oh, that makes me sad. That makes me sad. I think there was no difference who got DRS because Max still needed to give the position right. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I literally just want to know who ended up winning because they both didn't want the they both didn't want to be ahead going into DRS detection. So I just want to know, although they crashed, I still want to know which one won. But yeah, there we go. Right, I'm gonna try this thing again. So I'm gonna run an ad, and if you see the ad, please tell me in the chat. So, if any of you saw an ad there, please let me know. Yes, we see it. Brilliant. Yes, sir. Oh, that's cool. No, so okay. So from what I've seen, it only goes to some people. That's cool. Yeah, it's something I've never tested out before, and I've only really done it on this stream, so I was sort of curious how it works. I'm not gonna use it too often at all, but I literally just want to know if it works. Because if there's a situation where I end up with like 2,000 viewers, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna press the ad button. No ads. Okay, so yeah, it gives out to some people, but it looks at about half people or so. Depends on country as well, yeah, probably. Just destroying. Brew Garage has just joined the stream. Can you let me know its penalty discussion about next race? So there's no. I don't think there's any penalty for the next race, is there? I haven't seen anything like that. I would do the same race. Yeah, I know, Kappa. Like, at the end of the day, if you have like 2,000 people watching, you're going to press the ad button, aren't you? It lines your pockets a little bit. I'm a student. I need money, okay? But yeah, that's cool. Hello, WR as well. Oh, yes, here's a lovely segue. So, I can't live stream tomorrow night. You know why? Because you guys should go watch a WR Xbox Tier 1 race where we have a championship battle between two of the heavyweights on Xbox on the F1 game. In my professional opinion, you should come watch me commentate that. Just putting that out there, So, just saying. That is actually a great point. That is why I can't stream tomorrow. That's actually a really good point. Actually, same. That's why I have to do the Wednesday streams a little bit earlier as well, is because I have a commentary that night as well. So penalty has no actual effect. No, not in the end. Not in the end. It could have though. Can you send them our way? Yes, we can. Look, guys, look, it's WOR in the chat. Those are they're very cool. I think you should. I think you guys should go subscribe. In my opinion. But yes, yeah. If you want to hear more of my incredibly annoying voice. Right, I'm going to quickly head back to the off screen now, and we can sort of round off. So, no, that was pretty good. It was a pretty good day. Just show channel now and tell them to subscribe. Here we go. I think Lewis should DNF Max, get a 10-second penalty, then win. FIA has a, do lots of ads, then give away prize for 50% of the value next. Oh, that's a really good idea, actually. That's a brilliant idea. We're just gonna have like a farm, basically. Probably against terms and conditions somewhere, but I like the idea. You know what? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do a thing quickly. So, I think you guys should. So where is it? There we go. I think you guys should follow this. Let me look at this. Wow, look what I've stumbled across on YouTube. I think you guys should go subscribe to them. I'm sorry, this is so shameless at this point. So the FIA documents have been updated as well. Let me have a look at that. See if there's any changes. No, nothing new on that front. Let me head back over here. See if there's anything on Twitter that we can cover quickly. Decision 10-second penalty. Yeah, we know that one. 10-second penalty and 2 license points. Yeah. Okay, cool. So there you go. There they are. You can see me tomorrow night at about 8 o'clock. So let's head back. Right, we're going to round off the show, like I said. So watch the latest video. Expect 250 new subs tonight. There we go. I can see the last race being decided by penalty. Sadly, with the state of today's race, it shows that someone potentially going to get hurt because of reckless driving. Yeah, not gonna lie, the drivers have been a little bit more aggressive, and it's something that I do think race director does need to clamp down on a little bit. There's been a lot more, just let them race sort of thing, but that can lead to some quite nasty things, so hopefully not. I just have to say, yeah, lol. There you go, thank you, Kieran. FIA again, probably. Twitter saying Hamilton should have got 10 seconds or so. Not sure about that one, to be honest. I don't know. Look, people are perfectly entitled to their opinion. Like, absolutely. Love to hear Lewis said we are fighting with someone not using the same rule book. There's been so many funny quotes from this race. A lot of people are a bit annoyed. Right, I've nearly done 3 hours streaming tonight, so I'm going to be honest. You guys are going to forgive me, aren't you, if I head off? But yeah, I think that'll do it. So, guys, seriously, thank you for today. Some of you, like, I can see some of these names have literally watched for about 6 hours today, and that is absolutely mega. Seriously, thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed the weekend, and I like to think I added something to it. That's the point of doing these at the end of the day, so I like that. Max's rulebook is the Where's Wally rulebook. Sorry, that look, see, at the end of a 3-hour stream, you know, that makes me laugh too much. I was heading off now. Yeah, thank you, Kepper. Thank you so much. Max, Super Max. You deserve a rest. Thank you, Sahir. Why did Hamilton not get a penalty for driving slow on his way to the starting grid? Technicalities and rules, grey area. No penalty if you head off. I need sleep. Cheers, RaceBeacon. Yeah, thank you, Owly. Thank you so much. And one last shout out again, just for the sake of really paying tribute properly. Seriously, one last time, rest in peace, Sir Frank Williams. That's made me so sad. I was so sad when I saw that as well. But yeah. No, guys, let's not end on a downer. I'll see you, hopefully, I'll see some of you in the chat in WOR tomorrow night. And if not, I'll be going live probably Tuesday, definitely Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Then maybe Thursday, 6 o'clock UK time, that is. And then Thursday maybe, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, absolutely. We are going to be building up to what should be one of the most hyped races for nearly a decade in F1. So this should be quite fun. A lot of fun. There's a lot of British bias on here. Whoa, what have I missed? Max penalty. Yes, it was a penalty. David, honestly, just go back half an hour. I'm sorry, we're rounding off now. I'm sorry. Hitting midnight here, so yeah, time to call it a night. Thank you for the streams. No worries at all. Thank you, Lindley, as well. Like I said, actually, I sort of cut myself off. To see some of you, like, same people in the chat all weekend has been absolutely mental. So yeah, thank you so much. Good night. Go get some sleep. Yes, thank you, Bev. I need to at this point. I need to. But yeah. That's all good. That's all good. Oh, actually, I haven't plugged the Discord. So if you go into the description of Discord, if you've really enjoyed this and you'd like to join the community, go onto the Discord, go into the description, click the link to the Discord, and you can join there. It's really good. We've got some great people in there, and it's a really well set up Discord. Massive credit to the admins for that. But yeah, like I say, hope you all enjoyed the race, and see you in about 2 days. Yeah. Much love. Good night.